fellow geeks. Welcome to another episode of TTRPGeeks. Tonight we are playing Mouse Guard, which is by David Peterson and Luke Crane. This adorable game features cute mice facing dangers of a world much bigger than themselves. And we are very excited to dive into this. A quick introduction of the people I'm playing with today. We have Erica, obviously from Level 1 Geek, or Ondoin. I'm so sorry, Ondoin.
I was like, I hope I'm waving at the right Erica.
And she also runs a podcast called The Let Us In, which is currently playing through Mouse Guard. So we wanted to play this game and give her a little bit of a plug because how many weeks have you been doing The Let Us In?
Oof, our 5th episode comes out on Friday.
Yeah. So definitely go check it out. We'll drop a link in the chat later for it. But go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourself and your podcast.
Yeah, let me just take the mint out of my mouth. To help me speak a little bit. So the podcast is an interesting concept. So we're playing Mouse Guard at the moment, but we are actually a system changing podcast. So every season we are all going to be doing a different system, learning it together, growing together, and having a ton of fun. And the Let Us In is actually going to be where the adventurers wake up at the very beginning of every single new season. So it's like franchised amongst the universes. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
In my opinion.
Kay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, hi, my name's Kay. I am from Anchorage, Alaska, and literally everything I do is just an attempt to kind of make it through the pandemic. And so I've taken up a lot of things, including tabletop RPGs, and I do a lot of TikTok videos. So yeah, mostly talking about like mental health stuff, being part of the LGBT community, being non-binary, trans, all that stuff. And then a lot of it is just me goofing off and making dumb jokes. So
definitely give it a follow. Hit me up in Discord with the deets and I'll link everybody to
Yes, because I would love to follow you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kuda Marler, introduce yourself.
Well, I was going to say me three, but I guess it's time to introduce myself. I am Erica Kuda Marler. I do love a good game, which is how I think I ended up over here on Level 1 Geek, getting to play Mouse Guard, which I've always wanted to play that one, but I've always wanted to play with the people at this table. So I'm just like, I got invited to the cool kids table at the lunchroom. But I digress, as you can tell. I'm also really big on the mental health. I deal with a bunch of different stuff. And so you'll find stuff about, and laughter I find is incredibly helpful. So I just posted a bunch of comedy memes about ADHD, which I didn't know I had until 2 years ago. And
Welcome
all of
to
us,
the club.
Yeah. Well, and I look back and I'm like, oh, and it's not even about medication. It's about, if I had known, I would have known what toolbox to be looking at to help me do what I actually want to be doing. So I also deal with treatment-resistant depression, which is not fun times for anybody, and social anxiety. So the fact that I'm able to come on stream, and I know Ondoin from one or two other games we've played. Em is amazing because I've watched her stream, and I'm just meeting Kay tonight, but I'm super excited because I'm like, oh, another mental health ally. Yes, I've got your back.
Yes.
And so this also, it helps me face a bunch of my little brain gremlins or demons, however you want to call it. And then I write. That is what I love to do. That makes me really happy when I'm not, fighting brain stuff. And let's see, it's here, so I might as well. My first book out is called Eden's Outcast. It's all about Lilith, mother of monsters, running around nowhere, Utah, dealing with things like the Wisconsin Hodog and unruly angels and all sorts of crazy fun stuff. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Well, I'm not actually in a nutshell, but you get the idea.
Maybe we'll have that happen tonight. with our cute little mice.
Walnut boats for the win.
Yes, exactly.
I'll race you and win.
If you guys can find one that's not frozen over, we'll make it happen. All right. Let's go ahead and get started with our story then, because I'm excited to play this game with you guys. You guys, it is cold outside. A storm is kicked up and has just blanketed the town of Lockhaven. Everyone has pulled away from the big stone building and their separate little rooms with fireplaces, and they've all taken refuge in the large tree that stands at the edge of town. The inside of this tree is open, carved out, and there's a spiraling staircase that winds all the way around this massive oak, and little homes and shops line this entire tree. And down at the very bottom, there is the feast of all feasts. Pushing back against the horrors of winter, these mice have decided to throw a party. Why not? Let's break out some of our stores, and you guys are set for all winter, so let's have a good day of feasting. There's music playing, lanterns are hung as you guys approach dusk, and all of the good smells from what has been cooking all day are just wafting through the entire place. Tables are being set up, everyone's running to and fro, and the mouse guard are on their feet, side-eyeing all of these amazing dishes that are being carried past. And Gwendolyn, the leader of the mouse guard, comes walking by, graceful as ever, and she nods to all of her mouse guards who are around. She pauses by you first, Lily. Lily, tell us about yourself. What do you look like?
Sorry for a second. Lily is a she's a little bit on the smaller side. She's not quite as tall as the other mice, but she has this she rotates between a couple of sweaters. But tonight she is wearing a black sweater with a really cute lettuce-shaped pendant hooking it together. She's a little bit more blonde. She's got a couple bits of red scattered throughout, but she's a mostly blonde, adorable looking mouse.
Love it. Are you wearing a cloak?
She is not.
She's not wearing a cloak.
No.
So she'll pause, place a hand on your shoulder. How are you today, Lily?
I'm really hungry. I've been waiting for this for like a full day.
I understand that. And she presses a hand to her stomach. The smells. To be honest, I'm looking forward to the apple cake.
Ooh, who made it tonight?
I'm not sure. You know, we should really ask Finn. I hear that he's been helping out in the kitchen. Save me a seat and a slice of apple cake, all right? I'm going to go check on everyone else.
Have a good evening. Morning, afternoon. I don't know where we're at anymore. I'm just hungry.
Winter is long like that. And she'll pat your shoulder and move along. Riddle, what are you doing right now? Oh, Riddle, you're under a silence spell.
I am not a cat. So, Riddle has managed to mosey sidle slip close to the fireplace. Mm. And there may or may not be a flagon of something resting on the fireplace that belongs to her, but maybe it doesn't. It's placed in such a way that if, someone were to come by, you wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm. And what do you look like, Riddle?
I am a gray mouse, and one of the most noticeable features is I am missing my left leg. And right now, I have a wooden wooden peg leg. And on the bottom of it, like in mud and snow and whatnot, it leaves a little wolf print. And I tell the local kids that, look out for the mini wolves because they're on the hunt. And they believe me because, I'm in the mouse guard. Of course. I am wearing a dark navy cloak. I have taken the hood down. I didn't want to scare too many people tonight. And then I have a strange dried out snake eye hanging on a talisman around my neck.
Riddle, says Gwendolyn as she approaches.
Evening. How are you, Captain?
I'm doing well. She holds her hands out to the fire to warm herself. I have heard tell that there is an amazing story attached to your necklace.
Yeah, I'm not the best at telling it, but we were prison transport. Do you remember Redtail?
Redtail.
Not my favorite.
Glad he was caught for certain.
Well, let's put it this way. We all of a sudden have so much more grain. So we were transporting him from one town to the next, and Corn Snake took sight of him, and he was going to be dinner, but then he wasn't. Unfortunately, my leg became the meal.
I am so sorry you had to give up such a sacrifice to be part of the guard.
Oh, I only had to do it twice. They were worried about my abilities when I lost the leg. So I went through training twice. But it's all right. I'm here. And I kind of show off the bottom of the peg, and I get to scare little children now.
If only all mice had the bravery of you, Riddle.
It's not about bravery. It's about making sure we can live.
A sense of duty. I understand.
Oh, and the eye. And I hold up the eye and kind of put it over mine. This is how I know how to find the guy who ate my leg.
You didn't finish him off.
I was lucky to get the eye and not lose more bits and pieces. And it was a corn snake. Corn snake. Like, it's not even a cool snake, like a viper or a rattler or something. So
if you ever encounter a rattler, I would recommend running as quickly as you can.
Oh yeah, no, like we're out. The whole venomous fangs, kind of not my thing. But corn snakes, I feel like we could have handled this one, but that's neither here nor there. And when are we allowed to eat?
It should be soon. I'll go check on the kitchen now. Grab a good seat.
Of course. If not, I can just use this one.
Above the two of you, you can hear doors starting to open as all the little mice are starting to scurry down the stairs towards all of these rows and rows of tables. And she quick times it over to the kitchen. Pushing through the double doors, she pauses at the absolute cacophony that is this room. Pots are boiling over, mice are running to and fro, tall white hats are falling from heads as people crash into each other, and she quickly skirts the room to stand next to Finn. Finn, what do you look like?
Well, I am a rather stocky mouse. I was born that way, although I do admit that I like the ale a little bit too much. I wear a trench coat with a lot of pockets. I like pockets because they hold all of my kitchen utensils and utensils that I use for most anything else. I wear a cloak that's mostly forest green, and it has like gold, little bits of sewing all through there to kind of add a little bit of shine to it. And I also wear a beanie.
Does it hold your ears back, or do they pop out on either side?
They pop out on either side.
Yes. Finn, this is Gwendolyn. What are you cooking right now?
Oh, 1 second. I just gotta make sure that this soup doesn't burn. I gotta keep stirring it for 1 second. Oh boy, there's just so much going on over here, isn't there?
Do you think,
What were you asking?
is it ready for a taste?
I would like to
I would be willing to taste test it for you. For, poison.
Right, the poison. The poison. Okay. Well, I would suggest giving it a couple more minutes just to let the flavors get to know each other, but it is in an acceptable, it would be acceptable for your palate now, but it wouldn't be extravagant like it would be in about 5 minutes from now.
I will practice restraint and wait the 5 minutes.
Much appreciated.
So, are you going to be able to have a chance to eat, or will you be back here cooking all night?
I don't eat until every other mouth has been fed. Once everyone has been fed and has been satisfied is when I get to take a break.
Impressive, truly. I don't know if I say that I have willpower. I don't know if I have that much willpower. And she elbows you a little. At least let me get you a drink.
I'd be lying if I didn't say that I wasn't sampling things here and there, just a little bit.
For the poison, of course.
For the poison, of course.
Yes. May I get you a drink at least?
I actually have mine right here. It's actually my own Finn's brew. I'm having my own mead right now. But
I forgot that you brew.
Yeah.
May I?
Of course.
What does this look like?
It came from a barrel that's I don't think they have adhesives in the sense. There's not like a label, but it's like painted on there. It's just like a green shield and with like gold lettering, and it all like every single thing that I make just says Finn's Brew on it, and it just says Finn's Brew Ale or mead. This particular goblet of mead is sparkling, like crystal clear, and it has a golden tint to it with a very sweet aroma. And just a slight hint of apples, just a slight hint.
I was about to say that's apples, isn't it?
Yes, of course, to complement the dessert tonight.
She does a furtive glance around the kitchen and leans in closer. Apple cake?
Maybe.
She straightens and strokes her whiskers, composing herself before she takes a sip. Extraordinary. I must order a barrel.
Feel free to come see me after the feast is over, and we'll make arrangements.
It will be my pleasure. Thank you, Finn. And I think that I should get out of everyone's way.
It was lovely to see you nonetheless. I will see you out there when all the mouths have been fed.
Perfect. She'll head back out, and as she does, just mice come pouring out, flanking her on either side, carrying huge trays of food. Lily and Riddle, you are free to grab seats as you please, as plates and cups and the whole thing starts filling up.
Oh, Lily is going to take one of the seats closest to the kitchen just for the smells.
Oh.
Yeah, she might get some of the food first, sure, but it's for the smells.
Absolutely. A platter is set in front of you. It looks like it's mushroom caps stuffed with cheese, tomato, basil, all of them roasted and drizzled with what smells to be a balsamic vinegar.
It's unfortunate that Anduin doesn't like mushrooms and tomatoes. But to Lily, this is looking like the best meal she has ever had.
Oh, absolutely. Someone slices a quick wedge, and a little face smiles up at you. Hi.
Hi?
It's an obvious young mouse. Not quite old enough to join the tender paws, but she's sitting bravely on her seat, her little tail thrashing with excitement as she waits for you to finish cutting a slice.
Do you want some?
She looks over at her, what you assume to be a parrot next to her. and then looks back at you. Yes, please.
And she, not even with another second thought, she was startled, but she's good now. She slices a piece and hands one to the parent as well as the child.
Thank you. As you are doing so, you see another platter being carried past you. Steaming diced potatoes, golden and crispy with the shine of what is unmistakably garlic butter.
Oh, she's making the same face that Onwin is making now.
Riddle, this platter's coming straight to you. Where are you sitting?
Near the fireplace, not too far. And oddly enough, that flagon that was on the fireplace mantle ended up in front of me. Oh no.
Wow.
And as a mushroom cap came past, just kind of grabbed one of those and put it in my pocket for later. And then I sat down waiting for what I think is garlic. Please be garlic.
Oh, yes, it is garlic. These are generous cloves of garlic roasted alongside of the potatoes, and it's going past you. You can hail the mouse carrying it if you like.
Yes. Please. Excuse, little gray one. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Hello, my name is Tinnable. Sorry.
Oh, Tinnable, never apologize for being you.
Thanks.
I'm just going to I'm gonna help you out. Would that be okay?
Oh, yes, it's quite heavy.
So I'm just gonna take this rather heavy garlic clove and just walk it over here so you don't have to take it any further.
Perfect. Thank you.
I like this
very
idea.
much. You're a guard mouse, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna join the Tender Paws soon.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty brave.
Cool. So when I joined, I had to give up a leg, and I point out the peg leg. What are you gonna give up? Like you can lose an ear or a hand or a tail.
His whiskers droop a little as he considers this difficult question, his paws going a little slack on his platter.
Hey, Tenable.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I'm kidding.
I knew that. I like to serve more food to other people.
And I pull out whatever we use for currency, and I'll be like, thanks for hooking me up with the garlic clove.
No, I couldn't possibly.
No. I just gave you a really hard time. Use it to save up for your first sword.
Thank you.
You look like a sword mouse to me.
I will be a sword mouse.
Okay. And if Graytail is still mentoring, when you get in there, that's who you should go mentor with.
Oh, are they really good with a sword?
Fighting in general.
Nice.
That's how I got this scar. And this scar I'm not kidding about. And there's like a kind of like a faint mark in the fur. They're the best. Totally worth it.
That's pretty cool.
I'll let you get that.
Touches his face in the same spot, balancing this heavy bowl of potatoes.
Careful.
In hand. And then as you study that, you see another mouse waltzing past with a towering plate of fluffy biscuits. And there's two mice flanking her. One with every sweet topping you can imagine. Jam, whipped cream.
My whiskers start twitching. Just like,
On the other side, there's gravy, whipped butter, just every single, the sweet and savory, either side.
And why not both? You three! And I go to get a biscuit with a gravy base and then strawberry jam.
Yes.
Drizzled with caramel, and then I put like a ridiculous amount of salt, just kind of sprinkled over the top.
The field mouse who was carrying the platter stares at you in absolute shock. What is it that you are making, honey?
Goodness. And I take a big bite, and I'm just like, yes.
And everything like oozes out the side, and
All through the
one is
fur.
there with a plate right underneath you to catch all the drippings.
Yes. Don't do this. This is advanced level eatery. You're gonna want to start with something simple, and I break off part of the very bottom of the bread that hasn't been saturated yet, and I quickly dip it in the caramel, and then I grab a little tiny bit of salt and go, try this. And don't tell me you're not allowed, just try this, because it'll affect your cooking in the future.
Well, if
Try
you say so, ma'am.
Try goodness.
That is delicious.
Stay away from this.
My name is Daywin. What is your name?
Riddle.
Riddle, you are a mad genius. Mad genius.
Yes, I've been called that.
We're gonna talk in the future. You understand me?
Understood. Remind me of your name one more time, my dear.
My name is Daywin.
Daywin. Okay.
Daywin. All right. Well, I need to get the rest of these platters out so everyone in the kitchen can eat.
That's a great idea.
All right. You go ahead and sit down. Enjoy the warmth of this here fire.
Yep. If we get short of firewood, we can use my leg. Have a good one. And then I just sit down and start eating. Riddle does this when Riddle starts to feel uncomfortable and awkward. Just
doesn't know how to end a conversation.
Just awkward. I will just make a joke, and then by amplifying the awkward, I know they'll go away.
All right, Finn, let's hop over to you. The kitchen is starting to empty out. Like, it looks like everyone is finishing up the cooking and everything is just being transported out. There's enough food to fill every mouse here 3 times over. And you're there with your soup. What type of soup is it?
Oh, it's just the first thing that comes to mind is gumbo. It's a, how do I describe this? It's got sausage in it. It's got, potatoes, and it's got corn in it. And it's got a little bit of spice in it. And it's got this like nice deep smoky flavor.
Delicious. You see someone who has been across the kitchen, and her ears are just flat back. She does not look like she's having a good time, and she is furiously stirring a pot of soup of her own.
Would you like some assistance over there? Are you doing okay?
I'm fine. Your gumbo is kind of ruining the aroma of my soup.
Oh, pardon me. Anything we can do about that?
I don't know. Can you take your soup out of the kitchen?
Would you mind giving me just a few more minutes just to finish it up? It's almost ready, I guarantee.
I mean, it's not like I can force you out.
Right, of course. This is... Right, of course. What are you working on? What kind of soup is that?
This is my dad's old recipe. It's actually won some prizes, unlike your gumbo, probably. This is a roasted cauliflower with aged white cheddar.
That sounds rather delightful. May I just sample just a little bit?
Yeah, you'll never try your soup ever again. She pulls a clean spoon off of the wall and dips it, stirs, and lifts it up and holds it out to you. Don't burn your mouth on this.
Oh, I won't. My mouth is basically made of leather at this point. I've burnt it so much.
That would explain your soup.
Rightfully said. Very, very well said. I just kind of take a sniff of it just to kind of take it all in before I eat it. What does it smell like?
Oh, it does smell pretty incredible. This cauliflower must have been perfectly ripe. It was roasted before being added, and it was roasted with a little bit of garlic, some olive oil, you're pretty sure. Like, it had all of the flavors pulled out before being added to the soup, and it made all of the difference. And this cheddar is aged. Like, this isn't the normal cheddar you could just go buy at the market. Somebody crafted this with care.
I just take a smell and I just kind of I just feel like someone has just touched my heart to my core, and I'm like, oh, I haven't smelt anything quite this delectable and rich before. Let me 1 second, and then I just kind of take a little tiny sip of it just to kind of get a little bit of a taste, and I'm like, oh boy, oh wow, oh, and then I just down the entire spoonful. I'm like, that is quite wonderful. Where did you come up with this? Where would you and he's just totally fangirling out right now over this delectable soup. He's like, would you mind exchanging recipes? I would like to.
I don't need your gumbo, but this is an old family recipe.
Oh, I can respect that. That is, I understand.
It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
would you like to try my gumbo? Just a spoonful, just a tiny bit, just to see if I can change your mind.
She sighs, but clearly someone has raised her with a little bit of manners, because she does accept. What, you can't turn down another chef, right?
I would not hold it against you if you did. You are well within your rights to do whatever you want.
It's just, you obviously have an excellent palate, so I should give your gumbo a shot.
Okay. Well, I will warn you, it does have a little bit of a kick. I like to make, just make all of the
It's so spicy.
Oh dear. Here, wash it down with this. And I just give her some of my mead.
I don't know if I'm ever going to taste anything again.
Just drink more mead, or if you'd like, I can get you some
leather tongue. You weren't kidding. She has tears welling in her little mousy eyes at this. She takes her apron and dabs at them. I think yours is done. Yeah, I think it's done.
Okay. Well, thank you for testing. Maybe I should just kind of tone it down just a little bit. Maybe add a few more ingredients to kind of block out
potatoes.
Potatoes?
Soak that up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I'll add a little bit more potatoes.
Good. Good. And she'll go ahead and lift her soup and walk out, just eyes all red and watery, and this thing heavy in her arms. Lily, she's walking right past you.
Oh dear. It's funny because she's, whoever this other cook is, handles spice just like I do. So I feel for this poor mouse. Lily sees it. Is she struggling with this giant pot?
No, she's not struggling. She just looks like she's been crying.
Okay, so she sees that she has been weeping a little bit. She takes her handkerchief from one of her inner pockets in her sweater. She made the sweater herself, so she's got some hidden doohickeys. So she pulls it out, and then she looks at it. She's like, you don't have a free hand. And she goes up and she just dabs the sides of her eyes. That's better.
Thank you.
You okay?
Yeah, just something spicy in the back. Watch out for the gumbo.
Oh, I sure love a good spice. Are you really tolerant to spices? Not so much.
Let's just say this will kick you in the tail.
Yay. I need something to wake me up, get me ready for more. Ooh, what is this? And she stares directly into the pot.
Oh, this is roasted cauliflower and white cheddar soup.
I'll just take the whole thing.
No, there's enough for a lot. And she'll go and she'll set it on the table and she'll start scooping out bowls for people who are immediately lining up for this soup. But she spares one for you as well.
Thank you. I was just teasing. I couldn't eat the whole thing. I was just saying it smelled really good. Okay, I'm gonna go now. And I'm gonna go eat. Bye.
All the mice kind of pause and look up as wind rattles through this oak, kind of creeps underneath the doors and sends a small flurry of snow across. Everyone shivers. The fire does a little tremble, and then it settles back down, and everyone resumes their merry way.
Oh, looks like the soup's cooled off now. Yeah.
Finn, you're now the only one left in the kitchen. What do you want to do?
Well, I would like to imagine that just because his mind has just been on like the just preparing food, like he's just kind of like looking around, doing like the spin around dance, just to be like, did I get everything? Is everything okay? Is all the food out there? And then he just starts cleaning the kitchen and forgets that he should probably eat or go spend time with everybody.
Perfect. Riddle, your whiskers start to tremble a little.
I double check them for gravy, because perhaps maybe there's a little bit of gravy. No.
There was a little bit of gravy at the end of one, but it wasn't enough, and you feel the hair on your back rise a little.
Just whiskers, not something else. Nothing to do with the slitheries.
You don't feel slitheries. It's just like a little rush of nerves all of a sudden for no real reason.
Oh, so anxiety. Okay.
Except when it's in the whiskers.
Yeah.
Then it's actually a thing. I look around for any of the other mouse guard that are supposed to be on duty tonight.
There's a bunch of the mouse guard here. Most of them are eating, drinking. You see one close to you has just pouring glass after glass of this bright, vivid red raspberry cordial. Yeah.
I head over to them and
Riddle! How are you, friend?
oh, I am so good, but you enjoy that.
I better.
cordial. Yeah, you should have another.
I'm gonna have 3.
Oh,
They
I only-
miss their cup a little.
oh, sweetheart. Oh. Have you seen Captain Gwendolyn?
I don't know. I've seen her. She's the most beautiful mouse I've ever seen.
And don't repeat that to her face until you're sober.
Well-
Just a bit of advice. If you're gonna be wooing.
I told her like 5 times tonight. And she said that I needed to have some water, but there is more cordial in this pitcher.
Oh, so I grab the pitcher
Yeah, that seems good.
and then I take the pitcher away. And then
And your whiskers stiffen.
oh, for crying out loud. So I put it down and I go, you, arm over the shoulder. I need a spare leg and yours will do.
I got so many legs. And they
I
stand up
know.
and they have an arm around you, and they are definitely more of a hindrance than a help as they hang onto you.
I believe it, and I'm looking for any other mouse guard and like trying to signal them over.
Lily, do you notice this? You're a little ways away down the hall, but I don't know. Do you know Riddle?
I don't think she would know Riddle. But I think she would understand the signals that she would. They kind of catch her eye. So she looks over. She looks back at some food that she was eating.
You haven't even tried a bite of your roasted cauliflower and white cheddar soup yet. You haven't had time. There's been so many other foods.
She quickly picks it up and like takes a couple gulps.
Oh, it is one of the best things you've ever tasted. You have to have this in your inn.
What was that other mouse's name? Oh, I gotta write this down. And she kind of like pats her sweater, and in her front right pocket or left pocket, she pulls out a notebook and writes cauliflower soup, crying mouse, and puts it back into her pocket and starts to just ever so casually walk over to Riddle. Like I don't know what's happening, but I also know what's happening kind of
A
walk.
crash sounds against the doors. The locked doors of the trees. and you hear the unmistakable clang of swords being drawn from sheaths.
Okay, so you put him somewhere where he won't get killed. Maybe under that table.
He shouts and pulls a sword. And
I
you
jump
might
up on
guess
the.
that his instinct is, I draw my sword.
Ah, that's great, mate. I jump up on the table. I'm up on the table, and I'm like,
gasp and stare at your rudeness.
yes, I'm being very rude, but I need all of your legs to go that way, away from the clanging swords.
From down the hall, you see Gwendolyn stand. Riddle, what is going on?
Swords at the door. Call the guard. Oh, I am the guard.
She is going to stand. She's also going to join you in standing the table, and her voice will ring out loud and clear across this opening. Everyone to the upper floors and make your way to the fortress.
Do I hear this, or am I still in the kitchen, just kind of like oblivious to all this?
You hear shouting, and there should not be shouting like this, but maybe you can't make out their words.
Well, the kitchen needs...
Kitchen's not...
I should go check.
So they, another crash at the door. Another heartbeat, and whoever is there is going to be in. What are you guys doing? Mice are rushing past you in a panic, all running for the swirling stairs leading upwards to get out of the way. And most of the guard is actually getting people up and out, lifting children and running with them.
Any of the guard brave enough to stand? Come with me and grab a table. And I go to reinforce the door that's supposed to be locked, but I hear banging. I might just be by myself.
Yeah, a couple of mice will join you. They'll grab and they'll start reinforcing. Lily, what are you doing?
Lily's part of the guard helping people out.
Okay.
But she's not looking like she's going to leave with them. She's kind of standing at the bottom of the staircase, pushing their little butts out the door.
Cool. Awesome. Finn, are you finishing cleaning the kitchen, or are you gonna go out?
No, I heard the crash, and I decided to go check and make sure everything was okay.
There's craziness in this room. You walk out there, and people are lifting tables. Food is spilled absolutely everywhere. Mice are racing up to the top of the tree, and Riddle and a few other mice are barring the door with tables.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just try and help everyone who does not look like they're of a fighting nature or defense. I want to just help all of the non-combatant mice out. And it's like, last one up the tree does not get my legendary cherry pie, and just kind of giving motivations based off of food to kind of like get them to forget that there's a horrible thing happening.
That is my type of motivation.
Boy, you that smells of the good stuff.
But yes?
Help get another table, or there will be no one to taste your food.
Oh, okay. And then I grab one.
And then I'm just like, and the other, I heard your name was Lily.
Oh, hey, I'm Lily.
Yeah. Help the one that smells of good spices get more tables here at this door. Because crashy, bangy, no more people to feed if they come in.
The poor food. And she goes and starts reinforcing.
Riddle,
along with it.
By your head, an axe breaks through the door. This thing is splintering. You guys have mere seconds before whoever's in is going to just finish breaking through.
I get ready to fight. Do I recognize the axe?
It looks like just a normal axe, maybe a little crude.
Okay. Stupid whiskers and their stupid tingling. So I pull out the sword, and once the last bench has been kind of jammed into physics place, I look around and see if we have any archers.
I think that's Finn.
Yeah, I have my crossbow out.
Ooh, Mr. Cook, or Mrs. Cook, or I don't even know your name. What is your name?
My name's Finn.
Finn.
What's your name?
Riddle.
Oh, nice to meet you, considering the circumstances.
Yes. Now, Finn, my dear, if you see that hole that axe just went out of, can you just like shoot whatever you can through that hole for me? They're trying to kill us. There will be no one to taste cake. There will be no cake to make if you die.
Right, but why should I return, an act of assault with another act of assault? Like I need to make sure that the children are out. And
the doors burst open, and you see the large bodies of minks come pouring inward.
Oh, minks are really cute.
No, they're not. They rip the heads off things, and then the blood goes everywhere. So Riddle is not thrilled, and Sword is already out. I will fight.
Let's do some fighting then.
I will fight.
Okay, I'm gonna say that the three of you are a team. Are you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. I feel like I need to make this. I have to make this announcement now because I forgot to do it earlier. We are all new at playing Mouse Guard, except for Erica. Onduin, dang it! I'll remember one day. Onduin.
Technically, my name is Erica, so.
But Onduin is our quote unquote pro here, and so we might defer to her on a few things. But we're here to have fun and show off a cool world and a cool system. So we'll do our best, but we won't get too hung up on the rules.
Yes, let's break
the rules. Forgive us if we make mistakes. But yes, so the way this is going to work is who is the most experienced mouse guard here? What are your guys' approximate ages?
Lily is 32.
32?
Oh. I am 20.
Finn is 41.
41. Okay, and I think you're actually the highest in the mouse guard for your ranking. So you are going to be our keeper of mouse initiative, quote unquote. What we're going to do is we're going to roll for our disposition.
Okay.
Erica, Onduin, do you want to explain disposition, or do you want me to?
Let me pull up my disposition notes, unless you happen to have them on hand before.
Dog cry?
Yes.
I don't know why he did that. He got all sad all of a sudden.
Okay.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do, since this is a fight, we have a specific type of disposition, which is going to be the test skill for fighter. You can add in your health or your nature check to this. So, Kay, what you're going to do is what is your health check? What's your health total?
I'm trying to find it.
I think it's on your first page at the top.
The top right side. It's going to be kind of like by your nature, will, and then it's your health.
Okay.
And if our lovely production could switch us to combat music, I'm not sure if I should have been more clear about that.
In our when we were rolling the character, I don't think we went over health.
No worries. I think your nature is actually higher. So I think it was 5. Perfect. Yeah. So roll 5d6.
Okay.
No, that's adding to the base. So that's going to be your total plus. You're going to roll your fighter. Roll your fighter check, which I think you have 3 dice too.
Okay.
And let me know how many successes you have.
So am I rolling my fighter or my nature?
Fighter, sorry.
Okay.
Roll your fighter.
Okay, one sec. And we're doing d6s?
Yep. And let me know how many 4, 5s, and 6s you have.
2 5s.
2 5s. Okay, so now you're going to have a disposition of your nature, which is 5, plus 2, so your disposition is 7, which is a very strong disposition. They have a disposition of 5. So as they come running in, some of them don't even look like they're looking to fight. They're just grabbing armloads of food, and some of them are running out the door. So they look like they're trying to hold you off while they steal your food. So let's go around first, and let's talk about what your personal goals are for this fight. Those can be something like, I want to defeat these people, these minks that are invading. I want to just keep them from hurting anybody, or I want to stop them from taking the food. Stuff like that. So what is your personal goal for this fight?
Lily wants to know why they're there. Like, why do they need the food?
You don't know.
That's her goal, is to kind of see why they need their food, take a look at their actions, see if they're really trying to hurt people, or if they just are scaring them.
They do look like they're coming at to hurt people. They have no reservations about hurting you guys.
I want to end the threat and never have the threat happen again.
Oh, danger-esque. All right, Finn, what about you? What's your goal?
I would like to see why they're stealing the food, because they're clearly in need of it. As little violence as possible. Maybe I will, shoot them in the leg to keep them from hurting an innocent life, though.
Okay.
Lily
Awesome.
is right there with Finn.
All right. Then let's go ahead. I'm going to choose my 3 actions first. And I'll write them down real quick.
Oh, and something really cool about conflict within Mouse Guard is you technically don't have to fight. So if we wanted to, we could use the combat style to actually talk our way out of it instead of physically fight, which is really cool. So if that's...
Yeah, they have a bunch of different conflict types. You've got argument, chase, fight, negotiation, journey, speech, war, like all these different things that use the same rule set.
It's so cool.
May I suggest, since Finn is he's a very burly person with a very deep voice that can resonate like across the entire building. So I was just thinking like having him just yell, "Stop!" and just like, in a way that just like, rattles chairs and just makes everyone stop.
Oh, man. Oh, cool. I picked my 3 actions that they're going to do. You guys now get to do, this is called table chatter, and it's actually recommended for this game. It's a specific mechanic where they're like, talk amongst yourselves, plot, go ahead and like step outside of your characters, talk about what you guys want to do, and then we jump back into your characters when you're ready to execute your plan. So feel free to chat.
Okay, let me pull up the combat page again.
I'm gonna let you guys in on something off of my character sheet real fast. That way,
cool.
My character's behavior will make sense. My main belief is every mouse life is sacred and needs to be protected no matter the cost. And so Riddle is basically seeing these guys not only break in, but steal food that will keep everybody alive through the winter. So for Riddle's character, Riddle wants to make sure they die and not come back. For me as a player, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to do what they want to do. So if folks are wanting to negotiate, maybe, I don't know, we'll figure out a way to distract Riddle for a moment so that negotiations can go ahead if that's what you're after.
Yeah, that works great. Lily, background on her, she is a patrol guard, but she has quote unquote left that life behind. So she would prefer to not fight at all and kind of be like, hey, like maybe we can come to some sort of an agreement. Don't hurt us, we won't hurt you. She wants to come to some sort of an agreement without taking anybody's lives, ours and theirs included.
Finn's, I guess, if we're talking backstories, Finn's very much a pacifist. He believes, his main belief is whatever happens, happens, but I will always remain present in the now, in the moment. He doesn't believe, that everybody, there are people who are inherently good and bad. They're just people who have, egos and desires and stuff. So right now, there's these people who are in here who are crashing our party, who have this desire to take food. So they have a need, so he's of the mindset of like, let's find out why and see if we can make, at the very least, stop what's going on and, maybe even make friends or allies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm also going to point out real quick with what your characters have said and what Riddle's up to, we're going to come across conflict.
Oh, yes.
And I just want to make it clear that any kind of grumpiness you get from Riddle about not doing it Riddle's way is not in any way, shape, or form directed at you guys personally.
That's
Totally
totally
I
fine.
love you
'Cause
guys. Look
it's-
how
Yeah.
wholesome this is.
It's funny because Lily's belief is not everyone will be happy, but at least they are safe. So
Yep.
she understands
that.
anger and frustration, but she's like,
Mhm.
you know what? As long as everybody's safe and everybody's happy,
Perfect.
well, sort of happy. Cool.
All right.
And what are we gonna do though?
What
Because
are your actions? So your guys' options. Do you
So-
want me to read those out loud to you guys again?
Go for it.
I
Okay.
want to fight, but
So, you guys have 3 actions you can do. You can choose attack, defend, feint, and maneuver. And you guys are each going to be able to perform 1 action, and you guys also need to choose who's going first or second or third.
I think Finn should go first because of the way he shouted. I think that would get some attention even from Riddle to be like, what's happening? And that could open up a form of negotiation if that's possible from the other side.
I think I should go third, because if I'm not convinced otherwise, I am going to run somebody through.
Okay.
That is what
Okay.
Riddle will do. So Riddle will fight.
Okay. Cool. So we'll have Finn go first. Lily will go second.
Lily, what's your action?
What's Lily gonna do? Love that name, by the way.
I came up with it on the spot during my podcast because I was like, I knew this was happening and I was like, I need a name. Lily! I think I had watched some Harry Potter TikToks beforehand. That probably had nothing to do with it, but...
So down the family line, we actually have someone named Lily Lee Pond.
Aww.
And so on occasion, I'll play
Pond.
I'll play a halfling or a character with lily pad or some play on that. So I'm like, oh, someone's using Lily. Never mind, I can't.
Okay. I'm trying to look real quick at the difference between... Okay, here we go. Persuader. So she's gonna go into... We'll do defend, and we'll do the conflict type as persuader to assist Finn, essentially.
Okay. So Finn is going first with what action? What is that called, Erica? If it is
So
Hondoin.
for essentially, I guess we're doing negotiation. So for negotiation, attack is haggler, defend is haggler, feint and maneuver are both deceiver. So essentially first, you pretty much just have a choice between haggler and deceiver. So Lily would be a haggler.
Okay. So what is Finn testing right now?
Well, so I was suggesting the shout, or did we decide that I already did that?
Nope, you can do that now on your turn if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, because I would just figured like I would just yell, stop and just like, take my staff and just like, slam it onto the table just to, startle everyone and get everyone to stop dead in their tracks. But
Getting Gandalf vibes.
yeah. So would that, but that's is that a combative thing, or is that can that fit in within negotiations, like as a haggler type thing, or?
So I feel like we're a little bit on different pages here. These guys
Okay.
are coming in to straight up attack you guys.
Yes.
And so the scene in my mind where it looks like they're running in with weapons and you guys are like, whoa, let's talk. So you guys are trying to do like a conversation while weapons are coming at you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call this a feint action for you guys. So I will let you use your persuader skill for your feint, but you're not in your you can still try and do that towards their disposition. So you can make me a persuader check.
Me?
So what you're gonna do, you're gonna roll your what ranking do you have in persuader? I think it's 3.
3, yeah.
Yep, roll 3d6 and tell me how many successes you have.
Okay, hang on a sec. And you said 4, 5s, and 6.
4, 5s, and 6.
2 successes. A 4
2
and a 5.
successes. Okay, their first action, which so these two actions are gonna happen at the same time. There was attack. So they're gonna get their attack off, and you're gonna get yours off. So you're gonna deal with your successes 2 damage to their disposition or like their morale, but they're gonna get an attack off on somebody. 2 to 2. And I only got 1 success, but the one of that you see towards the back, one of the very drunk man who's drinking all the raspberry cordial gets an ugly slash across him and he falls down.
Oh no.
What do you say, Finn? What does this look like? You just hit the table and you're shouting?
Yeah, I'm shouting, and then I see the guy get slashed across the face, and then like I start to, you can kind of hear like a I don't know, just a lot of more passion just fill my voice. Like, what is the meaning of this? You know, in a very kind of like clearly upset manner because violence is happening, but also, yeah.
Shut up, mouse. We'll take what we want.
Will you though?
Lily's turn. Lily, you said you were doing another like persuader haggler type thing.
Yeah, so she was going to use haggler to essentially
Is that a skill?
Yes.
Okay.
So she has 2 in haggler. Wish she had more, but here we go. I got a 5 and a 6.
Cool. So what does this look like to you?
She's not standing on the table, but she's standing next to it. She does have these dual daggers kind of at her hips that she kind of like shows off in a way like with a cowboy, you know how they like fling their coat to show off their guns. So she kind of does that with her sweater.
I love it.
And just says well, she doesn't really say anything. She just kind of stands there and growls. Just Urgh.
Hey. So that last time they did 1 damage of to your guys' disposition. You guys have done 3 to them so far. Okay. Riddle, what are you doing? You have the attack action. I have the defend action. So we're gonna do a versus check. How does your attack look?
Do I need to roll fighter, or is this okay?
You'll roll a fighter.
If I succeed, whoever's closest to me, I'm going to slash across the throat.
Yeah.
And then I'll, depending on how it goes, if I have a bonus action, I will take out whoever's hamstrings that are closest to me.
Not brutal at all.
No,
it's very riddle-y.
Riddle is the drunken old man that was supposed to get taken to safety didn't, and now I'm...
He's of the mouse guard. He wanted to fight.
Hey, he is losing something.
That was the little guy.
That was the little guy.
That's right.
That was Tinnable or something.
Tinnable.
Yeah, this is... He's had one too many. He shouldn't be on duty.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead and roll me your fighter check and tell me how many 5s, 6s, and 4s.
Let's see. Out of 5 dice. 3.
3? I rolled 4 defense, so none of your attacks get through. They're ganging up on you. There's too many for just you to handle as everyone else is shouting, and you're holding them all off, but they're blocking you down. They're keeping you back as more of them from behind are racing inwards.
Just for my information, any kind of chandelier hanging things above overlooks?
Yeah, so right above you guys, surrounding you, is like the first layer, right? The middle is very tall in the center, but you've got like fiery lanterns all around the edges that are kind of hanging from the first top.
Anybody up there?
Yeah, there's lots of people up there. They're running though, trying to get away, running up this swirling staircase.
But that's something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
sure.
my action is over, so.
Okay. Now we do it again. You guys choose what you guys want to do in the order. I'm gonna go ahead and write mine down before you discuss. So I'm gonna do.
So mad right now.
Let's see.
I've got mine written down. What are you guys doing?
Cool. Lily wants to look over at Finn first. She's gonna look up. She's not gonna quite say with her words, but she's gonna try and convey in her eyes, like, do you want me here or do you want me up there? Kind of after seeing that guy slash down, because she's gonna look up to Finn like you're kind of in charge, kind of thing. Tell me what to do.
Hey, as an individual, like outside, I'm like, I don't like being in charge.
And I can see that Finn's uncomfortable, and Riddle looks to Finn and goes, do you have any alcohol or anything distilled?
I mean, plenty in the back kitchen.
I'll run. I'll go get it. What do you need?
So what we need to do is douse our friends and then get somebody, not our friends, the minks. Douse our friends, the minks, who have come in uninvited and are now trying to kill people. And then
light them on.
Boop. And if they're smart, they'll see the fire falling and run away. If they're not smart, well, choices and consequences.
Riddle's so brutal and I love it.
Lily is standing there in absolute shock, like, what?
This is the best chance to keep as many of our kind safe.
I don't want anybody killed.
Well, then, because negotiating worked so well.
We just barely started.
Did anyone respond other than, shut up, stupid mouse, I'm going to kill you, or eat the food?
No, but yeah. I'm still trying.
And there's more.
Well, he is.
There's more. Not everyone's going to walk away okay, but that doesn't mean more of the mice can't survive than the minks.
You're talking about our kind, though, and saving our kind, but why? But what about their kind? You said every life is important.
They didn't contact us. They didn't
that we know
us
of.
That we know of, and we have to work with what we know.
They could have been driven to desperation, and this is what they were left with.
I'll be honest, I've seen mice do the same. It's not pretty.
It's not.
They will eat each other.
Literally. Yeah.
But, okay.
You hear Gwendolyn's voice ring out, hopefully providing you guys some direction as she is flanked by several warriors on the stairs, keeping back mink that are trying to fight upwards. And there's no food up there. You don't know why they're going that way. And she says, Mouse Guard, rally! Push them out!
Lily's gonna look over at Finn. So, like, there's that little emoji that's like these really sad, glazed eyes. So she's gonna kind of look at her like, at him and say, I don't think we have a choice anymore.
Yes, this is what the tides of fate are demanding right now. And I just sadly arm my crossbow and get ready for a battle.
She's gonna pull out her dual daggers and she's gonna back up towards Gwendolyn, kind of towards like the stairs to prevent more from getting up the stairs.
Oh, hold on. Alcohol, minks, fire. They go. Generally, if you're on fire, you're going to go away.
Yeah. Okay. For some reason I forgot about that. So she'll start going towards the back to get some of Finn's brew.
So I'm going to call that, I'm just going to say for your action then, you're leaving the fight to go get stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Is that going to be the first action for your team, or is that a later action for your team?
Well, the question is, Lily has to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
And
she'll
then
be back the next round after.
It'll take the full round for her to go get it and come back.
So she should probably, leave first. Go first.
Yeah.
So she can be back quickest.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna someone should defend, and then someone should get, or at least make fire ready happen. If this is gonna have a chance of working.
Fire will probably
I would say that Finn could probably shoot a lantern down on the next round once the alcohol's there.
Yeah.
Yes, but also Finn is also very resourceful. Remember all the pockets, so he has a flint and tinder on him. So and if there is like some sort of like drink that hasn't been spilled in the ruckus, I could kind of get the whole like burning people process started.
Riddle has an idea, but it's more of an Erica. It's more of a me idea. I want to breathe fire. I want to like liquor in the mouth, old school Xena show.
I'm sure that there is at least, because I'm assuming most like the food, everything's been knocked over. There's probably some sort of cup somewhere that has just enough for you to spit out.
I would like my action to be getting something on fire, and then whatever's near me that smells the strongest, Riddle just dragon breaths it out.
My goodness. All right. Let's say that this is a maneuver action.
I hope I don't fail.
Okay, so maneuver action, or maybe this is a feint. It's dangerous. It represents a sneak attack. It's dangerous to try, but if it works, it's very effective. In a fight, a feint is a feint. So I'm going to say it's that because it's not expected for sure.
No. Fire-breathing mice are not common.
Nope, they're definitely not, and I think it sounds cool, so let's do it. All right, so what order and what are your actions?
Lily will go first, and she'll go get a good amount of alcohol. The cups around just won't be enough.
Okay. Finn, what do you want to do for your action?
I don't know. Am I giving the flint and tinder to Riddle, or am I just kind of like holding it out just so that I can light whatever, like her fire breath on fire or whatever?
I think that's second option.
That'd be a second option. Is there enough time to like make a mini torch, or like a stick with a bit of cloth and then light it so that it's a repeat action kind of thing if we get it going?
I would say that there's a candle close by that you can use.
Okay, is the candle lit?
The candle is lit. Already lit.
So then we can give Finn something cool. If
Finn can have something cool besides just being a lighter.
Good. Good.
What would you like to do, Finn?
I don't know. I'm not very delighted at the prospect of lighting people on fire, so I'm just gonna just get my staff and just go in there and just start wailing on people.
Okay, so you're gonna do an attack.
Yeah, because stabs leave welts instead of actual piercing wounds, so hopefully they'll just learn a lesson.
Okay, so first action, leaving. Second action, blow torch. Third action, defend. Is that correct? Or attack?
Actually, let me. What if I attack? My action is second, so attack is second, just to kind of see if we can, chase some people off so that they don't have to get lit on fire.
Sure.
Love that.
If your team's okay with that.
Yeah. Just remember at the end of your turn to duck.
Okay.
I'd like to spend a free action to duck.
Hey, first action. I feel like we just did went to above view and the actors were talking and they're like, okay, good. And then the camera goes boom down into it and it's facing everyone actually fighting. So the slow-mo goes to fast time again. So my first action was defend. So all of these walnut shields come up and they layer over each other in front of you guys as Lily goes and scampers off towards the kitchen, and a moment later you can hear her and she's dragging something back. Second action for them was attack versus Finn's attack, so we both get to have our attacks go off. Go ahead and roll me your fighter, Finn.
Go Finn.
Ooh.
Give him a welt.
No welts were given. 3, 2, and 1.
3, 2, and 1. No. Okay. So they had a really rude roll. They did a 3. So you guys are getting battered and bruised and little. Oh my gosh, I can't say this name. I've stuttered on it twice now.
Tevlin?
Yes. It's sees that you guys are in trouble and grabs a little thing that he was hiding behind a table and he comes running up to help. And
Nope. Paw. My mouth is filled with apple cider and it almost tastes like vinegar. So this vintage wasn't watched very well. And my cheeks are like this. My hand is like this. And then I grab the candle and just fire.
Okay.
There's a gap so I don't get blowback and burn out my insides.
Perfect. So you've got you're gonna make your feint action, which is gonna be an attack, I believe.
And I feel like Finn's failure is very in character.
Mm.
And then
His heart isn't in it right now.
they also had attack. So for that handy dandy graph, attack versus feint, it has a star. I don't remember what happens on the star.
Okay.
Onduin, do you remember what happens on the thing if there's a star on the graph?
Yeah, what page are you on? So I make sure.
Special. Feint is a special attack with played against a defender may not test. The feinter makes an independent test. Success reduces target's disposition. If played against an attack, the feinting player may not attack or defend.
Mm-hmm.
So, cinematically, what's happening is that they were coming in for the attack, and Tinnable was running up, and you were about to blow it off, and you had to stop and catch him instead. And their attacks coming in. So what would have hit him? We would have been able to make your attack. They blocked it, and their strike comes and hits you for one. So a big gash opens across your back as you protect this little guy.
And he gets like just sloshed in apple cider.
Wonderful.
What do you think's gonna happen? My mouth is full. That sucks.
Now it looks like some of them are like starting to retreat. Their arms just laden with food and like fancy candlesticks you guys had. One is carrying a nice chair. It just looks like they're raiding you guys.
I've been playing a lot of Valhalla and doing a lot of raiding, and so I feel the need to just like fight back, but I can't.
Hey,
yeah, Riddle.
Next action.
Did Lily make it back with the liquor?
She can make it back right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I look down at Tibeline and I'm like, "Do you trust me?"
No.
No,
Yeah.
not
No.
Lily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll help you. I'll fight.
Well, here's what I need you to do to help. There are a whole bunch of young ones upstairs, kids younger than you. How
I can't
scared?
get up there. The minks are fighting Gwendolyn over there. I can't get up the stairs.
But can you climb? And because we're in the tree, right? And there's all the different edges.
Yeah.
Okay, up you go. You gotta do that for me.
I'm gonna be part of the group.
No, you are, but not if you don't survive tonight. You have a choice. You can do what you can do now and live to become what you want to be, or you can die tonight. What would you prefer?
Reluctantly, he takes a step backwards. He doesn't look like he's climbing away yet, but he's considering your words.
Live today, fight tomorrow.
I'm not a coward.
No, it's not.
I want to fight for my home.
Can I add to that?
Sure. So
I'm
you
just
guys
gonna-
were like, the guys crashed and you broke apart. Other mice have come in and you guys are like wrapped around this little kid in the back for a moment.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put like a firm grip on his shoulder and is like, and I'm gonna basically have like a fatherly voice, like, son, you're better. You I just knew what I was gonna say. You're better used to us if you live another day, because you can become one of us someday. But right now, this is not your fight. And I like look him directly in the eyes. He's like, I need you to survive.
Take another step back and then turn and tail and run.
And then I'm like, if you're slow, you're not gonna get any of my cherry pie. Punch your mom.
Onduin went from teary-eyed to laughing in like a heartbeat.
Last
Hey.
time we played this game, I
So-
cried.
What are
Yeah.
your 3 actions?
I say we roll out the barrels.
Yeah, barrels are being rolled towards you guys. Lily is just in the doorway, just like whooshing barrels,
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
bouncing and jittering, and Finn's probably freaking out because this is ruining this vintage.
Yeah,
And
greater good though.
and I'm just like, how do we turn these into Molotov cocktails?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, these are made of. I mean, these are like wooden barrels, so I think if they're impacted enough, they will like splinter and bust apart. And I am like, relatively large, so I mean, I don't know if it's within the realm of possibility. I would just like I could just be just a barrel Molotov chucker.
And I still think the fire breathing idea was a good idea. So
Still have a lit candle. It's
So
persistent.
I pick up the candle, and do you let me know that you could throw them?
Yes.
I'm sorry that the barrels got spoiled. I know this is not pleasant for anybody. And then I pick up some raspberry cordial this time, even though flammability probably not the best, but we're just gonna let it slide because raspberry
Rule
cordial.
of cool.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm like, here we go. And Cheeks, I could have been mistaken for a chipmunk in another life. And I just look at you and like,
Go for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have this as you guys' first action is maneuver to toss. Second action is attack to light them on fire. Lily, what are you doing?
I imagine Lily is helping in the best way that she can get the barrels onto the table where Finn is.
Finn is gonna push.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm gonna say you're first, then Finn is second, Riddle is third. Does that sound accurate? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Let's do this thing. By the way, Riddle, I'm gonna say that you get a fate point for living so specifically into your belief. Fate points are a cool thing where if you roll sixes, but you didn't get as many as you wanted, you can spend a fate point after you've rolled to add more dice to your pool equal to the amount of sixes and roll for more successes. So you're at 2 right now. Everyone started with 1. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this going. On my first action I had written down was defend, which you guys get the barrels up. There was nothing for them to defend against. Second action, they are attacking. You are going to do your maneuver to throw these barrels towards them. I'm going to say you don't have to make a check for this, and that they're just going to go bouncing to where you want them to, Finn.
Okay.
Just
Cool.
cinematically.
Yep.
They're going to make their attack, though, unchecked.
Just a little.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying for a little bit of like RP, Lily gets a little sad when she hands over some cider because cider is her favorite thing to serve at the Lettuce Inn. She's very sad.
I accidentally-
I have a special batch just for you.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be in. She'll save it for what's coming up in my podcast. So listen to it, and we'll have some special cider.
So what you guys were at, you had 7 to start off with, right? Your disposition was 7, and you guys have been reduced down to 3. Is that right?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how we lost. I know I got.
There was a couple of attacks that they got through on you guys.
Yeah, there were
okay.
2, I think. So
Yeah, the
3
first
sounds
round
accurate.
the first round they landed 1, and then I think the second round they landed 3, right?
Okay, so you guys are down to 3 total, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they got 2 this time. So I was like, oh my gosh, we're so close. So you guys have 1 disposition left. And we have your guys' attack. Go ahead. Roll your attack.
And that's off of fighter, correct?
That is correct.
And just for, well, but we'll see. Hold on.
Oh, that sounded cool.
They had no successes on their defend. This is your time to destroy them.
5, 5, 5, and a 6.
Yes, it's so satisfying. You light these mothers up. Would you like to describe that?
Oh no!
As they start retreating?
Oh, would I? So there's the initial first group that just got blasted by the torch of flame coming out of my mouth. And then as they turn and slip through the alcohol that's all over the banquet floor, they catch the other minks behind them on fire just because of the flee and must run away from fire. And then one of the poor little mink's tail is like a little candle wick. that's burning as they all run away from the fire. And Riddle just kind of shakes their head and goes, raspberries. And like stares dead in the eye. Oh wait, there's no one to dead eye stare. And there's just kind of like a tiny drip of cordial.
It tastes so good.
It's delicious.
It's so
but
tangy.
I'm just like, don't come back. No one's here to say that, but hear it, but I'm just like, so Gwendolyn?
The mice guards slowly start dropping their shields and turning to their wounded that lay on the ground. And Riddle, you recognize one. Daywin is lying there holding a dagger in her stomach, and she's gasping. Short, panicked gasps.
Okay, dear. So I've got healer. I'm gonna run over there.
Okay.
Don't know what I can do, but because I don't know how far gone she is. So I run over and I'm like, and I come up and I'm like, hey, at least they didn't take your leg. And
Riddle, it hurts, darling.
Yeah, I know. This isn't the fun part, but if we can get you through this part, you'll be okay. Sometimes there's sucky stuff that happens. Can you still feel your toes? Can you wiggle them for me?
She wiggles her toes just a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna wiggle my toes too. I can only feel 5.
Sounds like a real problem. You feel a hand on your shoulder, Riddle, as Gwendolyn stands over you.
So let's try and get this out, get this stitched up, and get you sorted. Okay? Can you be brave for me? The sooner we do this. Okay.
She nods. Gwendolyn goes down and holds onto her hand so she can't fight back. Yes, Lily.
Does Lily have a move? She also has healer and would like to help.
You can give her a dice, yeah, of help.
Cool, I'm gonna give you a dice.
So you get an additional dice to your healer check.
Okay, I've only got 2 on the healer check. So this is
so you get
3. A 3rd. We'll see how this goes.
Don't die, Daywin!
Okay, I've got 1 6.
Okay.
And a 4 and a 3. Hold on. I've just spent 2 personas. So I have a 6 and a 5.
Okay, 4s are successes too, by the way.
Oh, then I have 3 successes.
Thank goodness it was a 3 success obstacle. I should have specified your obstacle challenge to start with.
It's okay. It made it more tense.
It did, didn't it?
I was like, oh no, they died. Well, that's what was going through my head.
Okay, yeah. So you're getting her stable, and you see a little tear, and Gwendolyn looks around as she's like stroking Daywin's hair.
Okay. And then because Lily's helping, I have her come brace her waist for me. And if you do this, there'll be less damage. And okay, 1, and I pull out on 2. And then I've got a pack on my side and pull out some like waxed thread, and I can see an internal cut, and so I stitch that back up, make sure there's nothing like gushing, and then stitch up the outer layer and kind of smooth the fur over, and I'm like, not even gonna scar. You're gonna be fine. Why don't you wait a moment and someone will get you to the hospital, okay?
Thank you. Gwendolyn's gonna stand and gesture you and Lily over, and you as well, Finn.
And I'm gonna touch my back and go, huh?
Shoot! And
I should get that checked out eventually. But what's up, Gwendolyn? And I'm just kind of like, hi, with my little bloody claws.
Lily stands behind you and is like taking napkins and just like pressing them against your back, like.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try not to be noticeable, even though this is going to be noticeable. Like, I'm just gonna pour like alcohol on your wound just to kind of cleanse it. But
I turn around and go, Lily, stop. Finn, yes, that's exactly what should happen. And I just kind of like, hi. Oh, is my cloak cut? Oh, I bet my cloak's cut.
No, you were doing a dramatic twirl to protect, and your cloak flew up, and then you got cut.
That works. Yeah. So then I throw my cloak up over my shoulder and be like, yes, more alcohol, please. In fact, can I have some of that? And yep. I drink while Finn cleans.
Listen, our healer isn't here. Someone went into labor just before the feast, and they weren't going to make it back through the blizzard. I never send people out, mice out, on jobs in weather like this. I won't do it. But I am looking for volunteers.
Oh, I do a little bit of healing on the side, despite trying to pack the wound before cleaning it. I swear I know what I swear I know what I'm doing.
No, we have some mice that need serious surgery. We need someone to go after the doctor.
Oh shoot.
I immediately step in. I'm like, look, I am very, very well versed in outdoor survival, especially in ice, so I can definitely be of service.
I'm kind of average in everything. I like most of these people. Mice, I'll go with.
I'm in for purely selfish reasons because Gwendolyn, you and I know the cold is just going to completely numb whatever's going on my back. But if you wouldn't mind, let's, let them stitch that up first so I don't
Yes.
But I'll go. I have an idea.
Thank you. I could not ask for better guard mice.
Yeah, you're good. She kind of giggles to herself.
She shakes each of your paws and then turns her expression grim as she looks down at her little home that has been ransacked. We will fortify the defenses, but and get yourself stitched up, Riddle, but you should go as soon as possible. The longer you delay, the more lives will be lost.
Lily quickly gives Gwendolyn a hug.
And I tell Gwendolyn, I will get you the carpenter that made my leg. They do fabulous work, as you can tell. Remember the little wolf claw? We'll get you some fun stuff. You won't even notice the burned things.
Okay.
And I go to Finn. We're really lucky we didn't burn the whole tree down.
Yeah, that was close. That was a close one.
I think that we should go ahead and take a break here, and then when we come back, we'll do our wilderness survival in the winter.
Oh boy!
Okay, we are back, and thank you for letting us have a moment to recoup and have a drink and take care of ourselves. I hope that you also took care of yourself. But now we have to continue our adventure. We're going to time skip ourselves a little bit forward. You guys are out in this blizzard. You can hardly see anything as the wind carries a flurry of snow at a hard slant across your vision. It's fully night now. It's dark. Riddle, the stitches are pulling at your back with every step as you guys trudge through this snow. Luckily, you guys are light enough, staying mostly on top, but you're almost being buried with the force of these snowflakes that seem like they're the size of your fist, just building up the snow around you. You guys know you started off in approximately the correct direction, but it's really hard to see anything. The cold bites at your paws, at your tail, and your noses, and your little whiskers start to frost over as you trudge onwards and onwards after a healer that you can bring back. Finn, it's getting cold, and you know it's only going to get colder. What is your advice to the group as you guys make your way towards where the doctor is across?
So just asking on a meta level, we're tasked with going back, like getting there ASAP, right? It's not like we can afford to like actually stay the night or anything. Build shelter.
Gwendolyn said that you guys do what you need to do the job safely, but the longer you take, the more lives it will cost.
Oh my god. Okay. So I look at this. I want to look up into the night sky to see if I can see any stars.
It's really difficult. You can see maybe one or two, but it's hard to tell what a star is and what the snow is.
Okay.
Erica, I saw that hand.
When did the storm start?
It started before the feast.
So, when did the healer leave?
Before the storm started.
Okay, so it's likely she made it to her destination.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay, because I don't want to go to this place and deliver a mouse baby.
Pepe.
Oh, babies. That's
probably more than one.
Yeah, I don't want to be delivering the babies. Riddle would not be cool with that.
Erica, if I remember correctly, you are a weather watcher?
I am. And I can take a hint. So, would you like me to watch the weather and see what it tells me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lily has weather watcher. She would like to assist.
Okay, yeah, give Erica a die.
I've got ice blue die tonight, so we'll see how this goes. I've got a 6 and a 4 and a 3.
6 and a 4 and a 3. Okay, so you know that in a couple hours this storm will probably be over.
Okay,
So,
I do. Oh,
Finn
sorry.
is the leader of the party. Gwendolyn would say, as the most experienced mouse here.
Can I check with my survivalist to see if we can last another couple hours?
Sure.
Okay. So I got a 4 on that, so that's 46.
Yes, it is 4d6.
Okay. 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, that's what you need. You guys are gonna have to start making checks if you guys are gonna like survive this storm, if you're gonna keep going forward.
So I turned to the other two and I was like, well, this is gonna start wearing on us pretty hard. Do you want to push through it anyway, or do you prefer that we kind of recoup and see if we can just sit through these last few hours?
And Lily's kind of her teeth are chattering. I think we should try a little bit and then seek shelter. 50-50.
Riddle shakes her head no. We need to see. We shelter now.
Yeah, Lily, your response was not very reassuring.
No,
we are going to seek shelter.
I'd say seek shelter, and then when it's not, icicles. I don't look good in icicles. I don't want to be dripping in ice. Mm-hmm. This is not fun.
Lily kind of turns around. I look great in icicles.
Lily's already going snow mad.
She's absolutely going snow mad.
I turn to Finn and I'm like, if you'd like her to live, we should find shelter.
I agree. And then I basically pull out a knife and just start fashioning like snow bricks out of just trying to find like some firm snow underneath. Unless there's is there like any forest stuff nearby? Like anything that could be covered?
There's so basically your surrounding right now, you guys have you're past the edge of town. There's a big field around you guys that's rimmed with trees. You could stay within the shelter of the trees and go around, but that'll take more time. You could also try and head directly across this field. With the grass, you could possibly find like a tall stalk and work a little hole down along it and then inward to make a little small shelter, but it'll be a little difficult. You'd have to make me an OB2 survivalist check to make that little shelter.
If Finn wants to do that, Lily's here to give buffs, clearly, because she also has survivalist, so she would assist in any way.
Right.
Erica, I also saw you raise a finger. What was that?
Any rocks sticking out?
All rocks are buried right now. Yeah, not that you can see.
How deep is the snow?
It's pretty deep.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to burrow down to the ground. It would take you a long time to do so.
Right. So I do, ice is my specialty, so I could just dig down until I start getting to some like firm, like basically like block material snow, and just start, fashioning like bricks of snow to form like a little igloo for it, if that's okay.
I absolutely love that the Alaskan here is going to make us an igloo. Let's do it.
Dope.
This is fantastic.
I've actually seen a YouTube video of this exact thing. That's how I know that that's how you do it.
I'm really happy that you're like, yeah, I'm from Anchorage, Alaska, but I'm going off of a YouTube video.
Well, yeah.
Riddle,
Well, yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, I wonder if a blowtorch would work again.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sitting here going, fire good.
Yeah.
Because we're all really cold, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There's no
Lily-
wind block.
Lily's gone absolutely snow mad.
So I'm just gonna start digging a pit, enough that it's like probably shoulder level for me.
Okay.
So that, and so it's probably over everyone's head, the walls, and just encourage them to huddle together. And then I'll start, so in the hole, they're already kind of sheltered already. And so then I'm going to just start, making bricks and kind of building them around us.
Perfect.
And I'm just going to go, Lily, I'm cold. Come cuddle. Like, and that's
Here.
more for Lily because
Lily's tiny.
Mhm.
You're not gonna light me on fire, are you?
See, the thing is, you'd get warmer quicker, but then you'd be dead. And
Exactly.
I don't think you'd taste very good. I've
I-
never been one for roasted meat. Have you?
Finn, would you like to roll me a survivalist to see if you succeed at making a good shelter that'll last a few hours?
And add 1 dice to it.
Okay. Before doing that, I want to just take my cloak off and wrap it around both of them because I'm large, so you can assume that my cloak is probably rather large as well.
Oh!
And just be like, it's okay. And then I slap my belly. I'm like, I got enough insulation to last me for a while.
Lily's gonna look up at you. You're so nice.
I'm just like, it smells of the good stuff. Is there a pocket near me? I'm going to kind of like open a pocket and see if there's a flask inside.
I'll say there's a pocket full of like dried berries.
Yeah, because actually alcohol and freezing temperature's not good.
Not a good mix.
Well, because what happens is it does cause your capillaries out in the extremities to open up, but it takes heat away from your core. So
Is that the same with mice?
I don't know. Should
I
we
would
try?
assume so. No.
I'm kidding. Kidding.
How do we conduct this experiment? This is for another time.
And I'm just like, I like warm a berry up in my hand and just go into Lily. I'm like, eat that.
Gotta get them
Poor
calories. How was your roll, Finn?
So that's my survivalist with an additional dice from Lily, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so 5. 3 successes.
3 successes. You only needed 2. You successfully all go into the little shelter that Finn has made. He is a heater for you all. And
Also, I have flint and tinder, so I make a little fire.
Oh, so your guys' breath along with the heat from this flame go ahead and they like create like a shining thing of ice that even like insulates you guys further. So this little dome that you are all in gets all crystallized, and you guys successfully wait out the storm.
Hey, Finn. Hey, Finn.
Yes.
Can't feel my leg.
I can't.
And then I knock on the wood.
Lily is passed out. Her tiny little body can only take so much. So she's very asleep.
Finn's doing meditation. He's just kind of like, leaning back with his like arms, his hands on his stomach kind of folded like, and he was just kind of humming to himself in a meditative way.
Yeah, I'm going to rest up because while I won't tell anybody with me, my back is achy.
You're like pressed up against the wall and you can feel it helping numb you up a little bit, but it certainly does hurt. when the storm slows and the wind stops howling at the entrance of your guys' little shelter, and you guys crawl out into the still of the night, the stars are just stunning above you, the galaxy opening up with all of its wonder and mystery as you guys just marvel at how silent it is. This is a silence that can only be achieved in winter with a heavy blanket of snow, only broken by the occasional crack of branches beneath their weight.
It's just so pretty.
After like gazing for a while, I'm like, well, we know our way now. And then I point out at Orion's belt and was like, look at that waste of space over there.
Ben, what color is your cloak?
Green, with like little gold threads all along it.
Waste of space. Sorry.
I would turn your cloak inside out.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got you. And Riddle points out that before I could only see your mass and snow. Now I can see your mass, and so can everyone else. So I mean, I wasn't like disrobing completely. It was just like the cloak off my back. I wasn't like.
No. I'm just saying that predators.
Oh, okay.
This is perfect weather for owls.
Ooh, it is perfect weather for owls.
Why did you say the thing?
I'm just kind of like, we've had snow and now let's have an owl storm, but just so no shiny things. I'm actually okay because this is a dark navy and I'm just going to look like a shadow. Anything sparkly reflective though, not the best idea.
That is a wonderful idea. And then I just immediately just turn it inside out.
Are any of you guys good at pathfinding?
No.
I have a star skill. I forget what it's called.
Starwise?
Yes, I have a Starwise. So I guess, if possible, I could say that would be a pathfinding skill, if that works with the rules or whatever.
What I think that is something like you have knowledge about, so I'll let you replace it for now. I think rules as written, you do have to do a Pathfinder check, but for this, I'm just going to say we'll give you a plus to your survivalist. So like you're following the star, but because you're following a star and the star moves, maybe you might be veering a little bit off path. It could potentially take you longer to do it this way instead of using the ideal skill of pathfinding. So I'm going to say that this is an OB3 check because it says some challenge to this, to follow the star to the city that you guys are trying to get to.
Okay.
What city are we trying to get to?
Oh, that's a great question. I forgot the name. Hang on.
Hey,
And
guys.
you said survivalist plus how much? An additional die?
Yep, an additional die.
Yep.
And then your good friend can help you out if necessary.
Lily is always here to help, but she doesn't have anything in Pathfinder.
We're three wise mice.
3 wise mice.
We were 3 blind mice in the storm.
Wow.
No.
Honestly incredible.
I actually put 3 blind mice into my podcast.
Did you really?
Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3
Okay,
blind.
you guys were in Lockhaven. You guys are going to the very close town of Ironwood.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I got 3 successes.
Perfect. That's exactly what you needed. So you guys are able to cross, you guys are scurrying across this frozen wasteland of this opening, nervously, occasionally glancing up at the sky for the owls that Riddle had said. But as you guys approach, you're kind of coming from, you rotated a little bit away from the normal path the road would take, and you see a creek. It is frozen over right now. You could probably cross it safely.
Probably. Lily's gonna go up to it and just like tap it.
Down the ways a little bit, you hear the smallest of crackles.
Her ear kind of. Can you hang on?
I wish I had some of those walnut shells.
Okay. So her ear kind of twitches, and she looks back over at the two of them. This doesn't seem very safe. There's a little bit of cracking, and that's not good.
How wide is the river? The creek?
So you guys are probably like 4.5 inches tall. This creek is about 3 feet tall, or 3 feet wide.
Okay.
So I put a paw on the ice.
The stick paw?
No, just the paw that actually has claws on it.
Okay, that's fair.
So, and then I check the whiskers.
They're still.
And then I take my peg leg and just stomp on the ice. And wait.
It's okay.
And if no whisker anything, I cross.
No whiskers. As you get towards the middle, you can hear just beneath your feet the slow run of water. It's not frozen all the way through, you think. And while your whiskers give the tiny bit of a tingle, you are able to make it safely across.
Okay, when I get to the other side, I look for any fallen branches, that kind of stuff on the other side here.
They're huge. They're basically logs for you. But yeah, you can find some.
I don't think. I look in my pack and I'm like, thread won't say fin. And I say that very quietly because Finn is the biggest of the three of us. And I'm like,
it's true.
Because Lily's going to get across just fine. She's smaller than me.
Finn, what are you doing?
I'm also looking for brush and stuff on the on my side of the creek, just seeing if I can kind of find any long sticks, or in my case that would be log size, to kind of bridge that gap and form kind of a bridge.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind for Lily as well.
To find something to pull. Yeah, you guys find an actual fallen tree with some broken branches at the side, and you guys can try and cut through one of the branches to try and make yourself a little bridge, but it's going to take a while. You okay with it taking a while?
I will alternatively, does any of us have rope?
Not pre-written down.
I have camping supplies written down, but I don't feel that's fair because in the table talk, in the guard mouse description, it was like, yeah, when you're out there, you can basically, you're pretty good at surviving no matter what's going on. Let's see. Any long grasses maybe sticking out of the snow or anything like that?
Absolutely.
I walk up and I try and tug on a piece.
Okay.
Does it?
You can break it out and pull it free.
Okay. I go and collect as many of those as I can.
Okay.
And I start trying to braid them up into a rope.
Yeah. This is definitely going to take a minute, but yeah, you can absolutely do that.
And I'm going to strip the fibers down so that it's just the actual fiber from the grass, so not the outside brittle part.
Sure.
And tie it off and braid it up and then look at one of the branches and tie the rope around the branch.
I've made my fair share of daisy chains. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then I'm going to walk back over and go, here you go, Finn.
This whole time, Finn and Lily have been like working on this wood bridge, and they've been dragging it through the snow and having to pack it down and pull and pack down some more snow and pull this thing through. And then all of a sudden, Riddle appears with a rope before you two.
Oh.
And I, since Finn didn't take it, I just pass it to Lily. And then I cross again.
Well, no, I suggest that like you take your end of the rope to the other side and like.
Oh, it's already tied off.
Oh, okay, gotcha, cool.
Oh.
So I walk back across.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah. I turn to Lily.
Not that fast.
I turn to Lily. I'm like, you can go ahead and scurry across. This is going to be a bit of an ordeal for me. And then I just tie the rope around my waist and just be ready to just break through the ice.
And I'm like,
boy,
Finn, hold on. Need Lily. And in case something happens, we will pull.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And she goes.
Mm-hmm.
Lily sprints across the ice, waiting for any second for it to snap beneath her feet, and yet she makes it fine without so much of a crackle.
Thank goodness for being tiny.
You didn't eat enough at dinner tonight. We'll need to fix that when we get back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like eating?
Okay. Finn, your whole meditation thing you were doing, think cloudy thoughts. Raise yourself towards the atmosphere.
I know what's about to happen, so I'm just gonna book it across the ice to see how far I get, but I will do so as like light-footed as possible.
Yeah.
Like, you know, on the balls of my feet.
I'm like,
Okay.
Finn, that doesn't sound very light or cloudy, or I should have told you to think like a meringue.
A meringue! I
just got that
so much. Hey, yeah, you're reaching the middle and you hear the ominous crack of ice, the water growing louder as it starts to break apart, and yeah, it's breaking apart underneath you. What are you gonna do?
I just keep going, and then I just keep holding onto the rope and like ready to, you know, in case I start falling through, but like the whole time I'm just like making sure that the rope is like, you know, tight in my grip.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just keep on like, you know, as light-footed as possible, running across the ice, you know, with the rope in case it snaps, and in which case I'll just like pull myself through.
Yeah.
Okay.
I anchor myself near I dig in anchors in deep into the snow and like brace myself, because I'm like, maybe I should have let them make a bridge. But I don't say that out loud. And I go, Lily, all right, you're going to be my anchor. So get behind me and get ready to pull just in case.
The ice snaps and you take the coldest plunge of your life into the creek below. And Riddle and Lily start pulling frantically at the rope, which seems like it's holding.
Seems. Yeah, just with every, you know, every fiber of my being, I just keep on, you know, trying to work my way through to the other side, while just pulling on the rope.
Hey, you are getting through this. But as you they pull you up shivering and cold on the other side, I need you to take me a health test, because you could potentially become sick here. And let me tell you what your health is, because
Lily by chance help in any way for something like that?
I can't throw a healer dice in there.
Yeah, I'll let you guys throw out a healer
Cool.
dice. Did I tell you already that it's OB4?
Mm-mm.
So that means that's the difficulty rating is 4. You are a patrol guard, which means your health is 4.
Okay. I can't retcon this, but I was like, I should have sent my cloak, you know, with you to the other side, so there's like a dry thing. Yeah. Oh, a dry thing to wrap around me, but oh well. Okay, 4.
Oh, and +1.
Plus
yeah,
1.
and +1 from
Can
Lily.
you stack multiple?
That's actually a really good question.
I think you can only
know.
stack 1.
I think you might be right.
So roll 5 and tell me your successes.
Yeah, there's nothing in here about stacking.
And I'm sitting there going, think of hot cocoa and eggs Benedict and cloud eggs.
Your super spicy soup. Your super spicy soup.
It's called gumbo.
Okay, so my health is 4 plus. You said +1.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4, 5, and 6, right?
Yep.
2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. You start sneezing and you know that you're gonna get sick. But you can still press on. But yeah, you're not able to shake this devastating cold.
Stop! Yes. Finn, this is going to sound very awkward. Get naked.
Okay. Then I just like start stripping.
Awesome.
Wow!
Lily.
Not even a second. What?
Well, no, it's like I've been one with nature many, many times.
Cool. And then I'm like, let's see, the part of the rope that isn't wet, which is a good, is at least that part tied off.
Mm-hmm.
Lily, wind this up and get ready to light it on fire. And I just find any dry grass, whatever, that I can find.
Okay.
I'm just gonna suggest this. I'll just be like, look, we're going to find a healer. I'm pretty sure they can heal me when we get there. We need to hurry.
He does make a good point. We really should hurry.
Then you got naked for no reason.
I think he just enjoys it. He likes being with nature.
I wasn't quite following until I was already naked.
Don't put the wet cloak back on. And so I'm like, one of the sticks I've managed to gather, I kind of hoist up the damp garment. Let's wring this out at least, and you can carry it like a flag.
Lily actually is wearing 2 sweaters right now, so she takes off one of her sweaters. It's gonna be a little small for Finn, but she'll
way small.
But she'll at least like, it's a nice gesture, and she just like puts it on him. It's more like a
your
scarf.
beanie is still dry. You didn't go all the way under, so your beanie is still dry.
My head's warm. I basically look like Gus from Cinderella at this point. Just like riding up. Gotcha.
I love it.
So, and I'm sitting here wringing out like the bottom of the cloak and getting some of the water out. Cool. And then I put it back up and here's your stick.
Okay.
Off we go.
So Finn.
And I like very triumphantly, like with all the confidence in the world, whilst naked, except for a shirt, so I look like Winnie the Pooh. Onward.
So Finn, I want you to mark.
I turn to Lily and go, I'm not walking behind him. And just what?
Finn, under your conditions, mark sick. I don't know if there's a check mark or if you can have to write it. Basically, what this is going to do is it's going to give you a negative dice penalty, just 1, to your nature, will, health, and skill tests. And I will have that marked for you. So if you ever are like, what does sick do again? Just ask me and I will tell you.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and skip forward again. You guys you made it to the town. There's already mice out shoveling the streets, humming to themselves with their little lanterns on their pack on long sticks, so they have like a little circle of golden light around them. And they're walking around shoveling, and they hail you and naked Finn as you all approach.
Oh,
Travelers.
Hi, healer. Have you seen the healer?
Oh, Clara just gave birth. Go down the street and to the left.
What color is the house?
Yellow.
Oh, that's so sunny.
Right? Clara's the sweetest. She has the really good hot chocolate too.
Okay, I'm heading straight there, and because I'm just like freezing my ass off.
And I'm just kind of like, thank you so much. You're so wonderful. Is yellow your favorite color?
I'm not Clara.
Oh, sorry. You just said yellow, and you guys are still walking. You just said yellow in such a fun way. I thought
It's
maybe.
it's nice. It represents Clara so well, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
what's your favorite color?
Blue. I like the sky.
Oh man, day sky or night sky? Because there's a
Day
difference.
sky.
Oh, okay. Well, I better join
Though
my
your
friends.
cloak is nice.
I know. I really like my cloak. Hey, thank you for your help. And I skitter off after my friends.
Hey, you guys arrive, and an elderly, tired-looking mouse looks over at you guys, and adjusts round spectacles. Yes, hello. Is something wrong?
Yeah, a little bit. Lily walks up to her. Are you the healer? A
Yeah,
healer from
yes.
Lockhaven? Cool. Um, there's been a problem. Lockhaven was attacked, and there's lots of wounded, and we need your help. We've come to bring you, escort you back.
He clips together his medicine pack and turns to you all as he stands, his back obviously creaking. The name is Thurston Shorttail.
Thurston,
Take
nice
me
to meet
back
you.
to Lockhaven immediately.
Do you need to be carried?
No, I am fine on my own 2 feet. Just tired, my dear.
Okay.
It has been a long day.
I look at his tail and try not to look at his tail because he said short tail. And
It is obviously clipped short. Like, it looks like he's
Cool.
somehow lost his tail in a manner undefined.
Cool.
And then I turned to him and was like, before we go, you wouldn't happen to have any clothes that are like, I don't know, the size of me, like dry ones, would you? Because I'm, clearly naked and freezing my tail off.
I'm so sorry. I don't have anything that quite fit you, though I do have a muffler. And he unwinds the thick woolen scarf that he has on and offers it to you.
Whoa, wait. I'll go ask that nice person outside. Maybe somebody in the village has clothes your size. I don't want the old man healer to die on our way there.
I
Yeah,
will
me
be
neither. Like,
fine.
you
I
keep that for you.
assure you.
I don't think so, sir. And she says
and
a little
before-
sternly.
All right.
You're arguing healing semantics with a healer.
Yeah. And before Lily runs off, I go, see if anybody has a cart that we can borrow and bring back the next day.
Okay. So she's gonna exit out and talk to the
shoveler.
Yeah, the shoveler.
Yeah. Her favorite color is day sky blue.
Hi. I hear your favorite color is day sky blue? Sky day blue? Blue skies. Skies blue. Blue skies. Blue.
Mr. Blue Skies?
You're funny. What can I do for you?
Hi. So I was with that group who's looking for Thurston, and if you didn't notice, our tall friend is lacking in clothing. I was wondering if anybody in Ironwood has is that size that has some clothes that we could borrow?
It is the middle of the night. Do you think I should wake someone up?
Yes.
Understood. I just wait a moment.
Thanks. I'm so sorry. I don't want him to freeze on our way back. Lockhaven was attacked and
Oh no, is everyone okay? Obviously not if you're here for Thurston.
Exactly.
I'll run. And
Thank you.
she drops her pack and her lantern and leaves her shovel behind, and she goes sprinting off and comes back moments later, meets you at Thurston's house, absolutely breathless, frost on her whiskers from how heavy she's been breathing.
Lily, did you ask about the cart?
Haven't yet. And Lily's holding all of the supplies
Hi.
that the little shoveler had
I got
left
it.
behind. Oh my goodness. Here, let me trade you. And she hands all of the girls' supplies back. I was scared something might have happened to them. So here's those. Oh, thank you. And she goes in and gives them to Finn.
I assume I've been indoors, like, kind of warming up this whole time, right? Okay, cool.
Lily has always has some coin or type of payment in her bag and puts it on top of the pile of stuff that she gave to the
Oh
girl.
no,
Thank you.
my brother doesn't wear those anymore. But I better get back to shoveling. Have a safe trip back to Lockhaven.
My friend, sorry,
Yeah.
we have. Does anybody in the village have a cart we could borrow and bring back tomorrow?
Everything's buried in snow right now,
Okay.
including the roads.
Which is why you need to shovel. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're
People
fine.
have been.
Oh, you're totally fine. You're totally fine.
Well, hold
You've done a lot.
Hold on.
Oh.
What's been happening here?
Nothing. It's just we're just shoveling the snow, so it's good for tomorrow. But is everyone gonna be okay if I don't find a cart? I don't know how you can use it if the carts aren't as light as us.
Yeah, why do we need a cart?
And Riddle just kind of drops the cart idea because she doesn't want to explain in front of the very persistent healer that he should maybe consider being given a ride, and pulls out from her pouch a little blue river stone that's the same color as Day Sky. Thank you for your help. Because you're my friend, not because of anything else, but thank you for your help.
Thank you.
And I'm like, okay, Thurston, short tail, you and me can swap stories as we walk back to town. I mean, back to Torchhaven, excuse me.
Lockhaven.
Lockhaven. Oh, I'm doing good.
You have fire on the mind.
You are obviously tired. It is fine. Let us move along quickly now. And he starts off at a brisk pace. Like he has his bag up with one hand, he's got a walking stick with the other, and he's just going for it.
Look at this guy go.
And he's not coming from like the way you guys went. He looks like he's going towards like in a slightly different direction.
Okay. I kind of readjust my attachment for my leg and cinch it a little tighter because it's come loose through all of our adventures a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need some medical attention on that too. And take off after the doc.
Hey, you guys are traveling for a while, and he explains that he's not leading you back across the field, but he knows these roads because he's traveled them so often, and he's going to keep you guys on the approximate path. But as you guys are walking, there is just like a giant tree has fallen over the path. Oh, we're going to have to go around or over this, and I'm not much for climbing. And then he pauses and examines like a knot, like an open hole. Perhaps we could climb through here.
Lily kind of looks first. She wants to look inside and make sure there are no creatures inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you clamber up and you stick your whole body in, your little tails whipping out in the fresh air. And you take in a deep breath and you smell the unmistakable scent of a snake.
She pops back out. There's a snake in there. We shouldn't go this way.
Oh, yes, we should.
No, I don't want to fight.
They're
we?
cool.
I don't want the old man to
He's not going to die. They're cold-blooded. They're not awake during the day.
Actually,
I mean, during the night.
Snakes go through brumation, I believe, during the winter.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if they hear us coming.
Similar to hibernation, the way bears do, but they are able to wake up and interact if necessary.
Do I
Exactly.
look like I'm a quiet person?
Perhaps we should
problem.
just go around.
Oh, I
Definitely
know.
go around.
I'll go in and just stick my sword in it.
My dear, is it important to kill the snake now when there are lives at risk?
Is it going to be quicker to go through the log, around the log, or over the log? I'm just more about
Considering
getting
it
you
might
back.
wake up and we might fight it, it's gonna take probably just the same amount of time.
But if
What sort of snake is it? If it is just a garter snake, perhaps it would be a quick fight.
Let me look again. What kind of creature, or what kind of roll do you want me to make?
Tell me your skills.
So my skills,
Your
I have
relevant skills.
hunter, survivalist, maybe.
Go ahead
That's
and just do a hunter check for me.
Cool.
Well, and I'd like to point out I have snake wise.
Ooh, you want to do the checking then?
I think if that's okay.
You could propose it to Lily.
Yeah,
Lily?
go for it.
I point down to the missing leg. I have lots of experience with snakes. Would you like me to have a look?
I mean, they've already taken so much from you.
And no one's enemy.
Okay.
Okay, I'll.
You clamber up into the hole and you stick your head in, but you can't quite see it. It seems like it's a little further in. Do you go all the way into the tree?
Give a good sniff.
Hate those questions.
Yeah, that's definitely a snake. And not terribly small.
Yeah, I go all the way in.
You go all the way in. You're creeping through the dark. Just the barest light in here. It's already night outside. It's almost pitch black. And you see the unmistakable glimmer of a corn snake's scales.
Oh, really? I check to make sure Lily hasn't jumped in behind me. Oh, good. They left me alone. And I walk around to see if I can get a look at his face.
It starts to shift.
Oh no.
A tongue flicks out before it grows still once more. It had almost awakened. Are you going to continue onwards?
Did those steps get me any visible look at? I mean,
so
if it's
you took a
tongue,
step forward. It's like you could just see this the tip flip because it's all curled around
up.
itself, right? And so you saw a tongue flicker, but then it grew still once more. You can keep climbing, but you'll have to go over its body to get to the front of its face.
Erica, the player, knows better. Riddle, with the one snake-eye talisman hanging around her neck, wants to know if maybe this is the snake she's been looking for.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I do go and...
I mean,
That's
it's
fine.
A character thing, so go for it.
So I climb up to see.
Okay. You climb up and you feel its body shift beneath your feet, and up rises the head of an old, familiar enemy.
Cool. And I just kind of look and count 1.
Yep. It hisses. It arches its head and looks down at you. Little one, I have hungered for your taste.
And I want to make a pair of earrings. Should we do this?
I'm gonna all of a sudden just burst in and just whoa, time to be loud, and then I'm gonna just jump on him and just as an attempt to create a distraction.
In
Perfect.
the wake, Lily's just sitting there
and I'm like, sword.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and do the final fight of the evening. And let's get after this.
I'm Captain Ahab. It's the snake that took my leg.
Let me find another piece of paper because I filled my last one, and I will declare my 3 things that it's gonna do. And then you guys are gonna declare yours. Oh, also, I'm gonna say, even though Finn, you are the most experienced mouse, I feel like Riddle is starting this fight. So I think she should roll the disposition that you guys have.
Yep.
Do you need a reminder of how to roll disposition?
I guess, please.
Okay, so disposition. You are going to go ahead, and this is a fight. So you are going to test your fighter skill, and you're going to add your base number to it of either nature or health, whichever you prefer. So you will roll fighter, and
which
see
is 5.
how many successes you get.
I've
It's
got
Moby Hiss, says the chat.
yes. And with a name like Wombat Fuzz, here's to Australia.
Ooh.
So with fighter, I've got 5, and then my health, I have 5, so I get to roll 10 dice.
Oh, nope, you're going to add 5 to the base. So you're going to roll just 5 dice, and then you're going to add 5 total.
Okay, I like that even better.
Yeah, it's way better, right?
It's way better for me then. All right, let's see how this goes.
Oh, that's sound. Math rocks.
So 6, 6, 4, and a 3 and a 1.
Okay, 6, 6, 4, so that's 3 successes.
Yep, and then...
Do you have any fate points left that you would want to spend?
Sure, another 2.
Cool.
Throw 2 in there.
So all you need to spend 1 fate point, and now you get to add dice equal to your 6s and roll those as well and see if you get any success on those.
Oh, okay. So that's another 2. Awesome. 6 and a 2.
Okay, cool. So you have a total of 4 successes plus 5. That is an amazing disposition of 9. They have, let me scroll to my stat block here. 1, 2.
And I'm sitting here going, maybe I should have explained to everybody the backstory here.
Well, I don't know if...
Or maybe there's been rumors of the one random mouse guard missing a leg due to a corn snake and...
Yeah.
Hey, they have a disposition of 7. So, you guys ready to do this thing?
Yeah, I do want to apologize because I'm like, I know that like you as a character want to have your moment. I do know that like Finn is like, I see danger and I'm going to distract this thing immediately. So
I love it.
No, that's fine. All Riddle actually cares about is that this thing dies.
Cool.
And Lily just wants to make sure that the healer doesn't die. So.
Okay.
Did someone tell Thurston to wait outside?
Thurston is like, he's like trying, you can hear his little claws scrabbling at the thing as he's trying to like climb up, but yeah, he's not going anywhere fast right now.
Oh,
Lily's
what are your guys' 3 actions and what order do you want to do them?
Lily will go last. She's just trying to get Thurston down from climbing.
Okay. Finn, I feel like you were going first with your leap upon.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can like literally jump and just like hold on to the snake's body as close to the head as possible. Maybe like if I can actually, around like the neck area.
Okay. So like a maneuver.
A maneuver, and then like if I can successfully like grapple onto it, I'm gonna just take my club, my stick, and just start like beating the ever living crap out of it.
I love it. And what are you doing, Riddle?
I'm going to... Hasn't opened his mouth yet, right? Not yet.
Nope, not yet.
I'm going to try and attack. Because, but specifically the snoot and the nose. Because that's where they use this more than eyes or anything else. It's that smelling olfactory. And so I want to try and do damage to that.
Okay, cool.
Like permanent damage, because they're not
With what weapon?
My sword.
With your sword. I was seeing if swords have any bonus to maneuver checks. Sword has the useful tag. You get a plus 1d6 to one action of your choice in a fight. You may choose an action at any point during the conflict. Once chosen, the bonus dice sticks to that action for the remaining of the fight. So if you want to have this as part of your attack, you totally can.
Yep.
So, and what order are you going in? Is it going Finn, Riddle, Lily?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I am just finding the maneuver page. Okay. This is going to be a versus test because my first action was attack. And you are going to go ahead and roll me an attack action, I believe. Now you have 3 possible effects for a maneuver. You can impede, gain position, or disarm. Which one are you trying to do? It's kind of hard to disarm.
Am I second or first?
Say again?
Was I second or first?
You're first.
Okay. Gain a position.
Okay, gain a position will give you a plus 2d6 on advantage to your next action. So
Okay.
go ahead and roll me an attack.
So fighter.
Oh, wait. So if there are multiple characters on your team, this bonus is applied to the character making that test for the next action. If the action interactions doesn't test, this bonus is lost. Okay, yep. So roll an attack, and I'll roll my attack.
Okay, so fighter.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. 2 successes.
I also had 2 successes, so we canceled each other out. So we hit. No, we didn't hurt each other's disposition at all.
Cool.
Okay, now Riddle, you're gonna make your attack. I had a defense, so I'll roll my defense.
I do want to ask, am I still sick, or did I recover when
You
I was
are still sick.
Okay.
And it's fighter, yeah?
That is correct.
Oh boy.
Oh,
All right.
I rolled so mean. Okay, because I rolled a defense. Just roll big. You got this. You can beat my defense.
4 and 5.
5.
And then I'm gonna use one of those persona points.
Persona points have to be used before you make your roll, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, never mind.
Fate points can be rolled afterwards to add more dice equal to your 6s that you've rolled.
Never mind. I've only got 2 successes. The
Okay.
others were 3s, so at least it wasn't like cataclysmic. But
There you go.
hmm.
Okay. Sounds good. It successfully defends. No disposition is changed. Lily, it is your turn. What were you doing again?
She was trying to get the old man to come down so she can avoid him falling and hurting himself.
Okay, so he was doing a feint. So you weren't here, so there's nothing for you to counter with it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna like snake past Finn and is just trying to do like a grabbing your other leg riddle is what it's gonna attempt. But I rolled no successes because apparently I rolled really well and then I rolled really bad. Let's
so
go to the
glad.
next round.
I'm so glad we're not dealing with a cat tonight. The kitten is just murdering me right now. For some reason, he's like, "You are the cat tree." No,
Oh
I'm
no!
not. Oh, so you can't see what's happening below this line. There's a black cat of doom trying to distract me from the game.
Rightfully named Loki.
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
So,
I have chosen my 3. Go ahead and choose your 3 actions and in the order you want to do them.
So is Finn still hanging on the back of the corn snake, basically?
He's right there.
Did I successfully like jump on it and like basically am I mounted on the snake now?
Yeah, basically. You're not impeding him yet, but yeah, you're there.
Okay. I'm sorry, I totally forgot that my sick would take away a fighter dice, so I should have rolled 2 instead of 3.
No worries.
Could since Lily has summon fighter, can I assist with fighting?
You have
Not
to make
sure.
your own action. You have to make your own action in combat.
Oh,
And
that's right.
Finn, I believe your penalty is only to nature, will, health, and skill tests. Your fighting is just fine.
Oh, I thought fighting fell under the category of skills.
It might, but I'm not going to have it do that.
Okay, cool.
I was gonna say that I feel like that's like a default skill, not like an added skill.
Okay.
So
Okay.
okay. So Finn is in a rodeo,
Mm-hmm.
basically, at this point. I still have sword drawn, and Lily has successfully convinced Thurston not to come inside just yet. Okay, sorry, I'm thinking.
You're good. I'm also going to drop the thing in this. Oh, I already did. Maybe.
I'm also
This-
I'm out of alcohol.
You're out of. Oh,
Otherwise,
no!
I would breathe fire on this thing. Actually, would Riddle have? Oh, okay. So, player talk. You know how I mentioned that flagon at the beginning that was on the mantelpiece and then came with me to the table.
Mhm.
Anybody opposed if that flagon is something I keep hidden in my leg?
Not at all.
No.
It's very
And
piratey. I love that.
Is anybody opposed if it happens to be filled with something a little stronger than what you normally drink at a feast?
It's what Riddle drinks.
It's what Riddle would do. This is a little bit of retconning, though, to be honest. I did consider having things stored in the leg, but just because of, what happened earlier, I think it would be fun.
I am not bothered. It's a one shot. Let's have fun with it.
Okay.
Yes!
So, I'm gonna take an action to remove the peg leg, get the flagon out, and douse my one-eyed friend with liquor.
Okay.
Or at least attempt to.
Is that going to be the first, second, or third action?
Let's maybe go for first.
First?
I think.
Sure.
And I'm worried about Finn getting like smashed up against the top of the log. As a player, I'm just concerned that you're going to get like.
Yeah, in that case, I would actually suggest that my actions first, because I'm trying to like beat the snake into submission right now.
So you want to do an attack action.
So that you can do your thing.
Okay. Lily, do you carry flint on you? I know I do, but I don't know if that's something Lily does.
I have flint and tinder as well, and a flask, because I'm a brewmaster person, so either of those things if they help. But I am also busy.
Do you want to breathe fire? Hey, it's not a skill if you don't teach it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad point.
Because it would be kind of fun in the scene if it was like, hey, remember how we ended the last feast?
Mm-hmm. I will say, because this is your story, Snake, like that's why I wanted to be more of a support distracting character, so you can have your moment. But I mean, if you are, I can breathe fire. If that's, I can do it. That's fine.
Yeah, and I can just douse him with what I have in my leg and light that on fire as well. Look, the more fire, the merrier in this situation.
Everyone can do fire.
Of course, corn snake. We're dealing with, it's not anything super, it's a corn snake, but still, and we're mice. Mm-hmm. But, the more fire, the better.
So what I'm hearing right now is that Riddle is going to dump alcohol with a maneuver, which I'm going to call this as a gain position. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to say Finn, are you doing another maneuver for more alcohol, and next turn you guys are going to do fire?
No, I don't think it's necessary to also douse him in alcohol.
So you're just going to do fire next turn, or on this turn.
Well, yes. So are we just throwing out beating him into submission out the window? Or are we just going straight up? Oh yeah, because you're going first and I go second. Yeah, I'll light him on fire.
Okay, and then Lily, what do you want to do for the third turn?
Lily is actively trying to stay out of combat. So she's still just protecting the old man in case the...
I'm going to say if you don't want to be in the combat, then I'm going to give another action to
absolutely do that. Yeah.
Erica for the final action. Erica, what would you like your third action to be?
I want to blowtorch the other eye.
Okay, cool. So we're going to have alcohol with one and then 2 attempts at fire in the second.
Yes.
For the 2 attacks. All right, perfect. So the first action I had written down for defense for myself. So it's going to be my defense versus your maneuver. Go ahead and roll me your fighter check. I have less dice than you, so logically speaking, I should have less defense. Okay.
Oh, yay. Okay, so 4 successes.
I only got 1, so you're going to do 3 disposition damage to me.
Alcohol goes in your nose.
And I'm all alcoholed up, and he rears up, screams in fury. Finn, you are doing an attack action of fire. So go ahead and roll me fighter. I also had fight, So, or attack. So I'm gonna roll my attack versus Erica as it comes attacking her.
Zero successes.
Zero successes.
Oh.
Okay, that's how it was meant to be. I rolled 2 successes on my attack, so he grabs you real quick, just does a quick snapping bite at you, Riddle. We're on to our third action. You guys are down to 7 disposition. It's down to 4. Riddle, you now have your opportunity to light this on fire.
Can I talk? What would the roll on that be? Because I'm guessing
I did attack. I did fighter for that one.
Okay. Well, if it succeeds, I'll tell a really cool story. If it doesn't, well, maybe I'm the staff. Okay, 3 successes.
Okay, I had attacks. So we're both getting our attacks off. 3 successes?
Mm-hmm.
Were any of them 6s?
Yeah, one was a 6.
Do you want to add a use a fate point to add another then? Because if you get one more success, you end this thing.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. Thank you for reminding me of that mechanic.
You're so welcome.
I'm being attacked by Loki. The suspense of what the dice is.
Trickster, are you okay?
Oh, yes, I'm wearing jeans.
Ooh.
And his little kitty claws made it all the way through the jeans. And I know everyone's like, but Erica, what was the dice roll? It was a 4.
That's enough. Okay, so it is he is biting at you. I got 4 successes. So as his mouth is open and engulfing you, you are breathing fire. How do you want to describe how you do this?
Yeah. So, we'll say he misses just a little bit because most mice he eats have 2 legs, but my leg's missing. And so I scramble up with cheeks full of this hard liquor and snap the flint down really hard and just light it up down his throat and through the organs, and just you kind of hear like a sizzly and you smell burny something, like something you wouldn't want to eat, but it's a wilderness challenge, so you have to kind of smell coming out of there. And as that's happening, just kind of jumping back away because there's other alcohol around.
This whole log is starting to go up in flames. You have a very short period of time for you to gather your second earring.
Hey, Finn, let's go.
Yeah, the moment I see that this snake is, I'm booking it already.
Yeah. Perfect. You guys scramble out. Thurston is furiously arguing with Lily that he should go up in there. He was part of the Mouse Guard when he was young, and once you're part of the Mouse Guard, you're always part of the Mouse Guard.
Yes, I'm well aware. I'm well aware.
Is that
And
smoke?
so I scramble out and just kind of fall down onto the snow. And I'm like, I lost another leg. Luckily, this time it was only wood.
Oh, you have me.
And just kind of take a moment.
I think you're a pyromaniac.
No, I'm not. Just tonight, fire was handy. And then I'm like, I'm just gonna take a moment and I close my eyes.
I'm gonna like immediately just like look around for like a little stick or branch I can snap off and start forming a new leg for Riddle.
Oh, even just a crutch will work.
Do we have time for this? From your description, I thought people were seriously injured.
It's a very
Perhaps Lily and I should go forward while you tend to your friend. It appears your back is bleeding, my dear. Are you all right?
Finn's or mine?
Yours, Riddle.
Oh, that was from the minx earlier. It's okay.
You're gonna.
Yeah, tell you what. Finn here will make me up a crutch. You guys, I will catch up.
Okay, of
Okay,
course.
well,
Let us go, Lily.
yeah, we'll go ahead. Now that I'm nice and warm, we should be fine.
They head off. And as you guys hurry along the path, and the stone building of Lockhaven rises above you, backlit by the ginormous oak tree that your party was in, you rush in. He immediately starts tending to the wounded. Gwendolyn pulls you aside, Lily, and gives you a hot drink. Thanks you for your service. And a while later, Finn and Riddle join you. And she sits you down in the kitchen away. Yeah, go ahead, Riddle.
Sorry, can we rewind just a moment? So while
Absolutely.
Finn's working it up, I kind of go, hey, Finn, that was cool, right?
That was pretty fun.
I'll never
forget that.
That was pretty cool. And that snake will not be eating any more mice. Just gonna point that out.
I'm gonna start carving rations out of cooked snake meat. Just we need to eat something while we're on the road. Just saying, it's not gonna be pleasant.
Is it done? Is it already cooked?
I've extracted all of the cooked through parts. There's enough for us.
I just hold out a little mouse claw.
And I actually have a little packet of seasoning in one of my pockets, and I just was like, look, this is gonna be nasty, but this will make it a little bit better. And then I just season it and then hand you a nice chunk of cooked snake meat.
And I rip a piece off and go, I'm feasting on the flesh of my enemies. Okay, and then eventually we make it back. I just wanted that one little.
You needed that moment. Yeah, that was cathartic for sure. Yeah, you guys arrive. The bitchy mouse from before is serving you a second round of soup and just something to warm you all. There's blankets being dropped around your shoulders, and Gwendolyn sits down. Again, I thank you for your service, young mice. We had a few that passed, unfortunately, but I am so pleased that you made it back safe. The worry that weighed on my heart when you left has lifted. I was afraid I would never see you three again.
Over here.
Thank you.
Well, most of us. I lost my peg leg.
Again. I expected better of you this time, Riddle.
But look what I brought back.
Oh! Her eyes widen at the sight of this second eye.
You have to try this. It tastes so much better with spices. No, really.
I'm so full from the feast.
Come on, Gwendolyn, just
really?
a nibble.
Why don't I get you a coffee with some almond milk and a little whiskey, perhaps?
If somebody who knows anything about wounds,
yes, I
would love them to look at my back and my stub.
Of course.
This is raw and this hurts. And I just kind of put my head down.
She pats your head, smoothing down your ears. I understand. You must be exhausted. I will get you a healer immediately. Again. And she looks each of you in the eye. We thank you.
It was nice to get out of the inn for a little while.
Yeah. Hey, Lily. These work as earrings, right? Imagine this one dried out like this one.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
Okay.
I have my recipe book out, and I'm already kind of brainstorming an idea for snake meat stew or something like that.
And as you guys debate the beauty of snake eye earrings and discuss the different flavor combinations of snake in stew versus steak versus ribs, we will pull the curtain on our tale and end our session of Mouse Guard.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was so cute. Okay. I am really excited because for
that damn cat, man, it's getting you.
He is. Excuse me one moment.
Sure.
So for the lettuce in, there's a little bit of a celebration of life going on, and for the you'll figure out the next episode that comes out on Friday is going to talk a lot more about it. But for the third day, players aren't listening to this right now, so there's going to be a special drink called Finn's Brew, and it's going to have the cider that he makes, and the rim is going to have like some sugar on it, and it gets lit on fire. And it's going to be called Finn's Riddle.
Oh, that's going to be so cool.
Oh my
I'm very excited for my players to drink this drink.
That'll be so fun.
That's amazing.
I want to just say, again, thank you guys so much for your time and your creativity. And I know that it takes a lot out of you to come onto a stream and perform for people. And I had so much fun playing with you. So again, thank you so much for everything.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me be weird.
Of course.
Honestly, like, I'm like, it's okay if this gets kiboshed, but I'm like, fire and alcohol, and that, helps. And so I thank you for letting me.
Of course. We need that to happen.
And thanks for running this, Emily. This is
tons
of
fun. You did an amazing job, Em.
Thanks. But the real thanks goes to the creators of MouseGuard, again, David Peterson and Luke Crane. We really appreciate this game. I'm so sorry. I probably butchered the hell out of these rules, but we had a lot of fun playing it. Thank you so much. And let's go around one more time and let everybody plug themselves. Let's go reverse order this time. So Erica, do you want to plug yourself one more time? Where can people find you if they want more Kudamarler?
Oh, I was like, wait, which Erica? Sorry. So I am active on a couple of different social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you look up Kudamarler author, you will find me. And then the book I plugged at the beginning of the stream, Eden's Outcast by Kudamarler. If you like the weird and the monster and the creation, that kind of craziness, the book is a lot of that, basically. So yeah, that's where you can find me. I'll just drop my name so that it's easy to search for it and find me if you are so inclined.
I will also link your Twitter if that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
That's where you can find Eric Kudamarler. Okay, where can people find you?
Mainly on TikTok. I'm just on there kind of documenting my mental health journey and my kind of self-discovery journey, but just kind of sharing experiences and like little tidbits of wisdom I have from my experience as a trans person, as a non-binary person, as also someone with ADHD and BPD and all this stuff. So plus I just do a lot of goofy stuff and make a lot of dumb jokes and whatever. Every opportunity I get is just an opportunity for just more dumb humor. So I'm on TikTok. You can find me at special.k, and that's K, that's with a K-A-E. So. And
I dropped it in the chat, so find that there, copy and paste it to where you need to find it. Anduin, we wanted to do this game to bring some more light to MouseGuard so that we could put your podcast on a platform and let you share your passion for this game. So go ahead and tell us once more time about MouseGuard and where people can find the Let Us In.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. When she messaged me saying, hey, I would love to do this for you, I tend to be a very emotional person. I just sat there looking at the message like, that's so nice. So I am jamming for the very first time on my podcast called The Let Us In. It's very punny and very fun. So what we are a system changing podcast. So every season we are all going to be playing a different system, learning new rules, and doing all of this stuff together. So our very first season is MouseGuard, and I absolutely adore our cast and being able to get to play with them every week. So I'm excited to have everybody listen to it and enjoy it and give me tips on how to be a good DM, please.
Hey. Well, again, thank you guys. I'm going to go take us into our ending spiel unless anyone has anything else to say. Oh, I guess I have one thing to plug. Tomorrow, I am joining a new stream with Weave the Tale. I've never streamed with them before, but I've worked with a couple of their players, and I'm very excited for the new opportunity. I will be playing earlier than I normally do. I think it starts at 4 p.m. my time, so 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be playing Parslings, which is a game about words, the way people perceive you, define you, and that's words start appearing on your body, and then that's the powers that you have. So I am playing a twin of somebody else on the show. So myself and Mitch from Penny for a Tale are going to be twins, and one of my words that I have is duplicate. So that's going to be very fun. I'm excited for it. But if you guys feel like that, I will drop a link in our Discord. So go ahead and hit our Discord down below. Tomorrow you can watch me play with a really fun group. All right.
Yes.
If you would like to support our channel, please follow or subscribe on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things. You can also show your support by purchasing dice and accessories from one of our affiliate partners. After all, if you're going to help us out, you might as well get some pretty math rocks out of it. You'll find those links as well as our Patreon in the discount section below, or if you're watching on YouTube, in the description. If you are already doing one or all of those things, thank you so much. Your support means the absolute world to us. Now go take a long rest, stitch your back wounds, drink plenty of water, and we will catch you next time.
Water.
Bye.